Suddenly, Xiaofan handed the gourd to Wang Fei and said coolly, "This is for you." The gesture left her completely stunned. Huh? This. Xenon gently nudged Wang Fei and whispered a reminder. "Auntie, he's giving you a treasure. Put your hands out and take it already." She hurriedly accepted it, her face beaming with joy. "Thank you, Mr. Li. Just name your price." But Xiaofan just waved it off. "A little toy like this? It's nothing to me. It's a free gift for you." He thought to himself, this gourd from Lu Yike, while truly precious to ordinary people, is just a low-tier artifact. It's got limited use for me. Seeing Wang Fei receive such a valuable and powerful artifact from the generous Xiaofan, the three old men couldn't help but feel jealous. Damn, a peerless artifact like that, and he just gives it away? That's just an insane flex. Why doesn't that kind of good luck ever happen to me? They all started sucking up to him. "Little brother Li, is it too late for me to kiss up to you now?" Wang Fei thanked him profusely. "Thank you, Mr. Li. With this gourd artifact to protect us, my Wang family's fortune will surely rise to the next level." Xiaofan walked over to the still-stunned old woman and spoke in a cold voice. "Suchi Yue, do you have anything else to say now?" She gritted her teeth in hatred as he calmly asked again, "I said your artifact was garbage. Was I wrong?" Chi Yue pushed herself up using a table and demanded in an absolutely furious tone, "Kid, if you've got the guts, tell me your name." Xiaofan just raised an eyebrow and smirked, not hesitating to announce himself. "What, you still want revenge?" "My name is Li Xiaofan." Chi Yue muttered the name a few times. "Li Xiaofan, Li Xiaofan." Then, as if remembering something, she asked in shock, "Are you the same Li Xiaofan who killed Nihu?" Hearing that, he casually admitted it. "That's right, it was me. What's your point?" Suddenly, Chi Yue burst out laughing. "Ha ha ha!" Just like that, her whole attitude flipped, and she was back to her arrogant, cocky self. "I'm afraid you don't know this, but Nihu's master is a great overseas grandmaster, by me, and he's about to come to Huaxia himself." Chi Yue puffed out her chest, showing off, "And let me tell you some more bad news. I happen to be a disciple of that great overseas grandmaster, and I won't let you off either." She took a few steps forward as she spoke. "I can tell you with full confidence." Then she poked Xiaofan in the chest and delivered her threat. "You are a dead man." In response to Chi Yue's swaggering, his hand shot out. Xiaofan straight up slapped her so hard she went flying. "You phony old hag. I've been waiting to do that for a while." Chi Yue screamed in pain. "Ow! I can't believe you dared to hit me." She shrieked at the top of her lungs. "Damn you! You hit me! I'm a disciple of the overseas grandmaster by me." Xiaofan slapped her again. "So what if you're by me's disciple? I'll still hit you." All Chi Yue could do was take it. After the two disciplinary slaps, he shot her a warning glare. "Forget about one or two minor sects. So what if I offend every grandmaster in the world?" Xiaofan then declared with total confidence, "In this entire world, there's not a single person worthy of my attention." Humiliated and in pain from the two slaps, Chi Yue glared at him with pure hatred in her eyes. "Fine. All right, so you're tough. But I hope you can keep that same arrogant energy when you're face-to-face with Grandmaster Bai Mei." Everyone else in the living room just shook their heads, completely fed up with this kid's unbelievable arrogance. He's got a death wish and doesn't even know it, like a calf picking a fight with a tiger, Liu Feng helpfully pointed out to the princess. "Your Highness, I'm telling you, you should stay far away from this kid. Sooner or later, he's going to get you killed." Hearing all their nagging, he just shut them down with a single shout, "All of you, get lost." The old guys didn't dare say another word, just sighed, shuffled off, and went their separate ways. The princess stepped forward to advise him. "Mr. Li, no matter what, I really think you should be careful." Knowing Xiaofan had ticked off so many powerful people was seriously stressing her out. And that's not even getting to Grandmaster Bai Mei. "I heard you also offended the second young master Song by killing Taizhou from the Medicine King Valley. And Taizhou's master, Bai Chu Shui, is a legendary grandmaster." The princess couldn't hide the fear on her face. "And that second young master Song is also a student of Grandmaster Chen, and he's coming to Hannan. That's 3 top-tier masters, any one of whom could easily crush every powerful family in all of Hannan. So, Mr. Li, I think." But Xiaofan just held up his hand, cutting her off. "I said what I said." He clasped his hands behind his back and walked out, tossing this epic line over his shoulder. "Forget 1 or 2 little masters. So what if I have to fight the whole world?" Zinan turned to the princess, totally worried. "Auntie, I have never seen anyone so ridiculously stubborn in my life. It's like we've tied our entire family's fate to Li Xiaofan's boat now. Don't you think that's just a little bit risky?" She didn't know what else to say and could only let out a heavy sigh. Welp, seeing the princess looking so conflicted only made Zinan more anxious. If Li Xiaofan wins, fine. But if he loses, our family's entire position in the capital is going to take a huge hit. She heaved another heavy sigh. Still, deep down, she had faith in Xiaofan, especially after he so casually gave away that magical artifact. I feel like we can't fully see what he's capable of. It's a massive risk, but he seems like a man worth betting on. Back at the Jiang family headquarters, the office door opened and Xiaofan and Lian Yu walked inside, when suddenly the phone in his pocket started to ring. Xiaofan answered it. John Hong, what's up? The voice on the other end was practically buzzing with excitement. Xiaofan, good news, he said excitedly. The Manhwa Hutong project was officially finished, and they were holding the completion ceremony and grand opening in 2 days. At the ceremony, Old Master Chu was planning to invite a ton of famous people from Chuzhen to celebrate. Shouldn't the big boss behind the scenes maybe show up and make an appearance? Xiaofan was happy with the news and replied with a smile, Zhan Hong, I'm still in Hannan, but I'm almost done with everything here. But I probably won't make the opening ceremony. With Master Chu helping out, there won't be any problems. And Zhan Hong, of course, trusted him completely. Then he added, Oh right, Xiaofan, we're going to be live streaming the whole thing at the event, so you can watch the video if you have time. Xiaofan was actually looking forward to it, said sounds good, and then ended the call. Xin Yue, in her office, noticed someone had walked in, and of course, it was Li Xiaofan, strutting in like he owned the place. I can't believe you actually came to the sales department to report for duty. Xiaofan then casually dropped a bomb on her. The top disciple of the Medicine King Valley was killed, you know that, right? Hearing that, Xin Yue was totally shocked and quickly backed away, on guard. What are you trying to say? Let me tell you, this is a society with laws. Don't you try anything funny? But Xiaofan just casually walked right past her. Oh, I'm just here to repay a debt to the Jiang family, and anyone who has bad intentions toward them, I won't let it slide. You should just worry about yourself. He was furious inside, thinking of her betrayal. This Jiang Xin Yue was Uncle Jiang's actual sister. Yet she was scheming with that young Master Yao from the Medicine King Valley, always trying to betray her own family. She really had a death wish. She glared at his retreating back with pure hatred. Li Xiaofan, what are you so proud of? Then, as if she couldn't hold it in, she started screaming to show her authority. I'm the general manager of the sales department. In this department, what I say, goes. Then she slammed a file down right in front of him. This file happened to be the corporation's entire client list. Xin Yue then called in a bunch of her underlings to pressure him even more, before hitting him with an impossible sales quota. Li Xiaofan, don't say I'm making this hard on you. Everyone in sales has a quota. Your quota is to sell 50,000 in 1 month. And if you can't sell 50,000 worth of herbs in a month, you can show yourself the door and resign from the Jiang group. He opened the client list file, and right there on top were the phone numbers for people like Li Taixuan and Lu Yike. Now, for any normal person, trying to hit a 50,000 sales quota would be a nearly impossible task. But for Xiaofan, this was basically nothing. A sales quota? He figured he could make a few phone calls and get it done in minutes. Hearing him talk so big, Tam Nu Giet's employees looked at him with total contempt. Never been a top seller, have you, kid? You sure talk a big game. A few minutes to finish? You think you're just taking a leak? Go on then, let's all watch how you make a few phone calls and get this done. Tam Guiyet smirked, super proud of her little trap. She'd prepared this client list specifically for Li Xiaofan. Every single contact was a competitor of the Jiang Pharmaceutical Group. He'd be lucky if they didn't just cuss him out. Forget about them actually buying his medicine. Xiaofan just pulled out his phone and started dialing the list. Lu Jiasuang was fast asleep and was not happy about the rude awakening. Who is this? If you've got nothing important to say, don't bother me. The kid answered calmly, I'm Li Xiaofan. Hearing that name, Lu Jiasuang felt a lightning bolt go through him, his eyes bugging out. He shot upright in bed, his tone doing a complete 180. Mr. Li Xiaofan, hello, how can I be of service? See, Xiaofan didn't sound like a salesman trying to make a pitch. He sounded like a boss giving an order. I've got 50,000 yuan worth of medicinal materials I need to sell. Do you need them? Lu Jiasuang didn't dare hesitate for a second. Yes, Mr. Li, whatever you're selling, I need it. In fact, just to get on his good side, the guy decided to buy way more. Actually, is 50,000 yuan enough? I'll buy 500,000, no, 5 million worth of product. I can transfer the money right now. Xiaofan just chuckled. All right. After hanging up, he casually announced to the stunned crowd in front of him, that's 5 million yuan sold. But Tam Ningguai's face clearly said she thought Xiaofan was just putting on a show to trick them. Are you serious right now? You sold 5 million yuan in one phone call? If you're going to lie, at least make it believable. Her little cronies started laughing and mocking him. Yeah, right. Where's the proof? Where's the money? You think you can close a deal in 2 or 3 sentences? The guy was probably just messing with you. The idiot then pushed him. Go on, make another call. Xiaofan tapped his finger on the table, clearly getting annoyed by these gnats buzzing around him, and dialed the next number. Hello, this is Li Xiaofan. Lu Weikaw picked up the phone instantly. Xiaofan, I heard from my dad. You're trying to sell some herbs? I'll buy the same as him. I'll take 5 million worth. He simply replied, done. Then he turned to Tam Nuyi's crew. Another 5 million in sales. You believe me this time? Not a single one of them believed him. They all thought he was a terrible actor. Kid, keep up the act. I've been a salesman for over 10 years, and I've never seen a sale close that fast. Just then, a call came in. The person on the other end was Zheng Xian. Xiaofan, it's Lu Weikaw's mother. I heard you're selling medicinal herbs? She would never forget her debt to Xiaofan. He was the man who saved her family, after all. I absolutely have to support you. I'll buy 10 million worth of product. He smiled gracefully. All right, thank you. His eyes, now ice cold, shifted to Tam Nguyen's crew. Another 10 million, that's 20 million total sold. The employees didn't want to watch his charade anymore, smirking as they walked off. Let's go, this isn't fun anymore. Yeah, listening to him brag is worse than playing a game. Tam Nguyen stepped forward and yelled, Li Xiaofan, I am done wasting time with you. If that 20 million doesn't show up in the account, do you promise to get the hell out of the Jiang group? Xiaofan shot back, and what if it does? Tam Nguyen replied with a challenging tone, if it shows up, then I'll get out of the Jiang group. Seeing that she'd walked right into his trap, he curled his lip and said decisively, deal. Suddenly, someone burst into the office with an urgent announcement. Young master, great news, great news. Tam Nguyen, already fuming, took her anger out on the newcomer. What's a security guard like you doing making a scene in here? Great news? Get out. But the guard completely ignored her, focused only on delivering his report. It was, indeed, great news. The chief financial officer sent me to tell you that 3 payments totaling 20 million yuan have been transferred into the company's account. Hearing that news, Tam Nguyen practically jumped out of her skin. Is that true or not? I'm telling you, you better not be messing around in here, or I'll have you fired. Ma Ming answered with absolute certainty, even holding out the proof. I am not messing around. It says right here under your name, from the sales you made, and the money is already in the account. Here is the transfer record. Looking at the transaction details, her face turned a lovely shade of purple, and her whole body started to tremble. And yet, even with the money secured, Tam Nguyen was still in denial. This is impossible. The Liu family is one of the 4 great medicinal houses. They're our competitors. Why would they spend 20 million to buy products from Jiang Pharmaceuticals? It makes no sense. Xiaofan was tired of this whole circus. He stood up and gave a firm command, get out. Seeing he had zero respect for her, Tam Nguyen stubbornly tried to argue back. Li Xiaofan, I am Xin Ran's aunt and a senior manager at the Jiang Group. How dare you speak to me that way? Xiaofan's face turned serious, reminding her of her own challenge. Not anymore. You're not. He then gave Lian Yu the signal to take out the trash, and she immediately grabbed Xin Yue by the collar and hauled her outside. Get out. All her elegance was gone, replaced by a flailing, screaming mess who just kept cursing and struggling like a common brawler. Li Xiaofan, who do you think you are? Even now, Xin Yue was still shouting threats. An outsider like you dares to treat me this way? You'll regret this. Later that night, at the Xingyi sect, Vice Sect Master Tian Cheng was lying in bed, just staring wide-eyed at the ceiling. It was frankly a super creepy sight. The door opened and in walked Tian Hao. He put on his best voice. Uncle Ren, I've come to visit you. He laid the fake concern on thick, asking, are you feeling any better? Tian Cheng turned his head with a weak smile. Tian Hao, I'm a mess. I can't believe you still came to see me. So thoughtful. All while the kid pretended to adjust his leg, he kept up the act, saying, of course, uncle. This is also the last time I'll be visiting you. Hearing those words, the alarm bells finally started ringing in Tian Cheng's head. The old man stammered, what do you mean by that? Suddenly, Tian Hao whipped out a knife and plunged it down, making the old man arch in pain. Tian Hao quickly covered his mouth. I mean, an old, weak body versus a strong young man? This was not going to be a fair fight. All the old man could do was let out helpless, muffled groans into his hand. Oomph. He wasn't hiding the cruel ambition in his eyes anymore, making little sounds as if toying with his victim's life. Tian Hao was determined to kill him. Tian Cheng's eyes bulged as his groans grew weaker and weaker. Finally, the night fell silent as Tian Hao released his hand. He then calmly peeled off his blood-stained gloves. Then he casually straightened his clothes, gave the gruesome scene one last look, and coldly turned and walked out the door. Tian Hao threw the door open, screaming to alert everyone. This is terrible. Uncle Ren Tianxing is dead. That scream shot through the night, causing lights to flick on in every room. Something terrible has happened. Uncle Ren is dead. In another room not far away, the sect master, Situ Wangwo, was sitting cross-legged, deep in his meditation. When he heard the panicked shouts, "It's terrible! Uncle Ren is dead!" His eyes snapped open in complete disbelief. What? Just like that, Situ Wangwo was on his feet, sprinting to Tian Cheng's room. "My brother!" Tian Hao put on a heartbreaking performance over Tian Cheng's sudden death. "Sect master, I came to visit and I found him like this." Since he'd planned ahead, he easily retrieved a piece of paper placed conveniently near the bloody scene. "Sect master, I'm afraid the killer left this behind." Wang Wo frowned, taking the note that was half soaked in blood. The note's contents made him lock onto one name: Li Xiaofan. Those who cross me must die. That arrogant tone, combined with this brazen act, was the final straw for him. "I didn't want to come after you, but you dare come to my Xingyi sect and kill my people? How could this be?" Seeing his chance, Tian Hao moved in to pour fuel on the fire. "Sect master, from what I've heard, Li Xiaofan has already fled to Hannan. He put on his best look of grief and rage over this whole affair. First, Li Xiaofan got senior brother Fu Qingming killed. Then he murdered my master in Yunzhou, and now he's assassinated Uncle Ren Tiancheng. This man keeps targeting our members. Does he really think our Xingyi sect is some kind of joke?" After getting Wang Wo all fired up, he quietly stepped back, letting that misunderstanding fester into an unstoppable rage. Li Xiaofan. The man began radiating a terrifying power as he made a vow: "If I don't get revenge for this, I swear I'm not a man." Of course, no one in the room noticed the real mastermind smugly walking away. Elsewhere, Shinran burst into an office, her face a mask of fury. "Li Xiaofan!" she yelled, immediately starting her interrogation without so much as a hello. "Li Xiaofan, who gave you the right to fire my aunt?" Xiaofan, however, just kept looking at his files, ignoring his uninvited guest. She lost a bet. The logic he presented was actually pretty fair and reasonable. He continued, "Your aunt, Jiang Xin Yue, was conspiring with the young master of Medicine King Valley to completely take over the Jiang family. I kicked her out for the good of the Jiang family." But Shinran just ignored all of it, choosing instead to argue blindly. "Enough, Li Xiaofan. I can't believe you'd be so despicable as to slander my aunt." Meanwhile, Li and Yu, sitting nearby, suddenly noticed something. After delivering a big speech that solved absolutely nothing, she just fumed and stormed out. "I've been close to my aunt since I was a child. She's always been good to me. An outsider like you will never drive us apart." And with that, she left, while Lian Yu shamelessly continued to eavesdrop at the window. And look at her, all geared up for the drama. "Master," she chirps, "we've got some shady characters lurking outside." Turns out, Xiaofan had the same idea. "Let's go see." Downstairs, a stormy-faced Yao Jing was busy blaming his lady friend. "Tum Weird, you should have listened to me and taken over the Jiang group. Then you wouldn't be getting kicked out by some nobody." Yeah, right. If she had the guts for that, she would have done it ages ago. "Excuse me, young Master Yao, but Li Xiaofan isn't a nobody. He's the one who killed your senior brother Thai Chao in front of everyone." Of course, he completely ignored that little detail, still underestimating the guy. My master is out of seclusion. My junior has reached Grandmaster level and is on his way to Hannam. What kind of trouble can this guy possibly cause?" And with that brilliant logic, Yao Jing trusted Li Niu completely. "Brother Niu, it's all on you today. After you catch Jiang Hunyin, make her disappear from Hannam for good." The guy puffs out his chest, oozing with total self-confidence. "No need for formalities, young Master Yao. Just call me Li Niu. And don't worry, the mission is as good as done." Then he slinks over to her to paint a pretty picture. "Tum Weird, as soon as Jiang Hunyin is gone, the Jiang group will just fall right into your hands." Seizing the moment, Yao Jing slides a slimy arm around her waist and purrs. "So, how do you plan to thank me?" She plays shy, gently pushing him away, but her smile and tone were pure, calculating fox. "You're terrible. So many people are watching. Just help me get the Jiang group and... well, I won't say no to you, will I?" Back inside, Xiaofan got a bad feeling and just couldn't let her leave. "Jiang Hunyin, it's not safe to go back alone. Let me walk you out." But of course, she took this kind gesture as a total slap in the face. "Li Xiaofan, you have the nerve to see me out? How can you be so incredibly shameless?" And there goes our loyal Hunyin, defending her evil aunt, completely clueless she's the real target. "You must be thrilled today, gloriously getting my aunt thrown out." She puffed out her chest, venting all her frustrations. "You must feel like a real big shot. But did you ever think about my feelings? Where does that leave me, the CEO?" He actually understood her crazy town emotions, so he tried to reason with her again. "Jiang Tum Weird is working with the Medicine King Valley to take over the Jiang group. I'm just trying to help you." A sweet sentiment, but Hunyin was in no mood to hear it. Do you take me for an idiot? You really think I'm going to believe that? You think you can destroy my trust in my aunt with a few words? Before getting in her car, she shot him one last dramatic warning. Li Xiaofan, you've caused enough trouble. I am begging you, don't create any more problems for me, or you will pay dearly. With that, she slammed the car door shut. Han Yin floored it, desperate to escape the place that was making her so mad. You gotta give her this, though. For someone so emotionally unstable, she was a rock-solid driver. As she drove, she couldn't help but badmouth Xiaofan. Who does he think he is? Just because he can fight, he thinks he's all that? He's better at wrecking things than fixing them. The more she thought about Xiaofan, the angrier she got, and then she made a decision. That's it. I have to find a way to get rid of Li Xiaofan. Suddenly, she noticed something very weird up ahead. And by weird, we mean 3 long cars parked end to end, completely blocking the entire road. Inside, the other cars were guys holding guns. But she had no idea, and just thought it was really bad traffic. What kind of driving is this? Move it! You're blocking my way! The other guys moved pretty fast. All right, not their cars, but their bodies, as they all got out and walked toward her. Every single one of them was holding a gun and wearing a disgusting smile. They slowly approached, surrounding her car with some seriously bad intentions. Just in terms of sheer numbers, they had a weak little princess like Han Nian completely beat. It was only then she realized something was very wrong and started shaking. Not good. She quickly slammed the car into gear. The car shot backward and a screech of burning rubber on the asphalt. But surprise! After backing up just a few feet, she crashed violently into another car. Totally caught off guard, Han Nian frantically whipped her head around. What? The person in the car behind them casually stepped out. Li Niu tapped on her window, flashing a nasty smile. Well now, miss, you broke my headlight. What do you suppose I should do? In moments like this, her only instinct was to throw money at the problem. How much money do you want? I'll give it to you. But he ignored her and just opened the car door. Li Niu's movements were crazy, fast, and violent. In one move, he grabbed the terrified Han Yin and dragged her out. She couldn't stay calm facing this sudden, dangerous situation. What are you doing? I'm going to call the police. Li Niu had lost all patience and chopped her on the back of the neck. God, you are so loud. The clear blue sky had switched out for a few lonely stars. After being knocked out cold for a few hours, Han Yen finally got her consciousness back online and slowly pried her eyes open. The first thing she saw was Yao Jing wearing a dangerous smirk and Tam Nguyen with a deceitful little smile right in front of her. Still waking up, our girl here hadn't quite processed the spectacular mess she was in. Auntie, thank God you're here. You have to save me. Hearing these wonderfully naive words, the whole goon squad just erupted in laughter. Han Yen, meanwhile, was deeply confused by her aunt's sudden personality swap. Auntie, what's so funny? It was the guy next to you who kidnapped me. You have to save me. And that's when the villain mask she'd worn for years finally came off. My foolish little niece, you're still this clueless? How could the Jiang group possibly survive in your hands? Even though things were becoming painfully obvious, she still held on to a shred of hope. Auntie, what do you mean? Your aunt and these kidnappers are a team. Now that Tam and Guayet had dropped the act, she decided to spell it all out for her. Han Yen, don't blame me. You forced my hand. I, Jiang Tam Nuyet, helped build the Jiang group with your father from the start. From the very beginning, she'd been simmering with jealousy and resentment for her own niece. In terms of skill, I always ran the sales department. Don't think for a second I'm less capable than you, Jiang Han Yen. So why is it that only you and your father get to run the Jiang group? She sobbed, still as clueless as ever about the complex situation. Auntie, if this is about the Jiang group, you could have just talked to me and my father. Why did you have to do all this? Even the aunt couldn't help a helpless little laugh. Ha ha ha, but a second later her sinister face returned. Humph, what's the use in pretending anymore, she shouted, piling all the blame squarely on Han Yen and her father. Years ago, your father just had to meddle in the affairs of that Li Taixuan family. He got himself seriously injured, dragging down the Jiang group. How else did we get here? The more she dug into it, the more uncontrollably furious she became. And now Li Taixuan is back, and your father is acting like he's possessed by a demon. He wants to make him the son-in-law of the Jiang group. Isn't that just like giving the entire company away to him? By now, Tam Nguyen was completely blinded by her bottomless greed for money and power. I can't let you two keep making mistakes. I have to save the Jiang group. So, your auntie has no choice but to eliminate you. Then the company will naturally fall right into my hands. Han Yen could only cry in silence, staring at the wicked, scheming aunt standing right before her. All Han Yen could do now was painfully turn her face away, helplessly accepting the cruel fate her Aunt Tam Ngiet had planned. After that, she immediately returned to her lover. Dukin grabbed her by the waist and handed the rest of the job over to Li Niu. Little Niu, the rest is up to you, boys. Make it clean. The goon flashed a confident smile. Don't worry, young Master Du. The second those two left, his henchmen started creeping up on Han Yen. Boss, she's too beautiful to just kill. The brothers want to have a little fun first. Li Nu completely agreed with his subordinate's suggestion, cracking a truly disgusting, sleazy smile. All right then, same old rule. I go first. She used every last bit of her strength to fight the ropes, screaming herself hoarse. Don't! Help me! Help! She never dreamed her own aunt would betray her. If she'd known, she would have just listened to Li Taixuan. But to a pack of creeps like them, Han Yen's screams and terror just added to the fun. Li Nu quickly ripped her shirt open. This is an abandoned construction site way out of town. You can scream until your throat is raw, but nobody is coming to save you. Even so, she didn't stop. No, don't, help! And right on cue, the savior she'd been hoping for suddenly appeared and spoke. Let her go. Li Nu scowled, angry that his fun had been interrupted. The man's every step towards them was unnervingly calm and steady. Xiaofan repeated himself once more. Let her go. Until that moment, the goon and his buddies had no idea he was even in the warehouse. Damn it, kid. Where the hell did you come from? He didn't answer, just shot a cool glance over at Han Yen. All that defiant spirit she had before was gone, replaced by a weak, helpless girl trembling with her eyes shut. Before officially getting his hands dirty, Xiaofan gave Li Nu and his crew one chance to turn back. Get lost now, and I can pretend none of this happened. You might even get to keep your lives. But of course, the goon completely underestimated him. I was actually looking for a little payback, and you just walked right through the front door. The guy already had a gun out and was just looking for a reason to pull the trigger. Li Nu got cocky, threatening Xiaofan. You think a little punk like you can play hero? You really think I won't just shoot you dead right now? Completely against his expectations, the kid's face and tone stayed perfectly calm. Fine. If you've got the guts, take the shot. He even grabbed the man's wrist and pulled the gun closer. Come on, shoot me in the head. Don't let your hand shake. Hold it steady, don't be nervous. Being disrespected this badly made Li Nu shake with rage and humiliation. Damn it, you. Don't push me. I'm telling you. I will actually shoot. The second the words left his mouth, the unmistakable sound of a gunshot echoed through the factory. Han Yen squeezed her eyes shut in fear, unable to watch what might happen. Ah! Who would have guessed it? The bullet flew out and just bounced right off his forehead, like some kind of dud round. Suddenly, a brilliant halo explodes around Xiaofan, protecting his entire body. The whole gang of goons had never seen anything so wild, like something straight out of a fantasy comic. What the heck? But the part that really broke everyone's brain was the bullet that just hit the ground, suddenly bouncing back up, shooting right through Li Nu's chin into his skull. At this point, the bullet basically had a mind of its own, just zipping around freely. It zipped through the vital point of each guy. All three were down before they could even blink. One even fell backwards right at Hanran's feet. The whole crew dropped in a bizarre way in seconds, and our hero didn't get a drop of blood on him. She already knew Xiaofan was tough, but this was a whole new level of what just happened. It was over in a flash. Feeling mighty grateful that he just saved her life, Hanran immediately changed her tune. Li Xiaofan, I don't know how to say this, but I have to thank you. If you weren't here tonight, I can't even imagine. But his reaction was ice cold. You don't need to thank me. I keep my accounts balanced. He turned back, making his point crystal clear. Over a decade ago, your father saved my father. Now, I've saved you. From now on, our families owe each other nothing. Xiaofan started walking away so fast Hanran had to chase after him, yelling to wait. He spared her a moment. Is there something else? Hanran offered some well-meaning advice. Li Xiaofan, I think you should go apologize to the second young master. I'll stand by you and help smooth things over. Deep down, besides being worried, she still wasn't totally convinced his power was enough. Honestly, your skills are pretty shocking. But you have to know his master is Master Chen. How can you possibly be a match for him? Just then, Xiaofan looked up and saw a firefly buzzing around. Higher still, a bright moon filled his entire view. He then dropped a cryptic line. How can a firefly's light compete with the moon? Can a swallow know a swan's ambition? He just replied with a simple warning. Jiang Hanran, you should just worry about yourself. Xiaofan's cold, indifferent attitude from start to finish made her feel like he'd completely dismissed her. Li Xiaofan, I tried being nice since you saved me. If you won't listen, you'll get what you deserve soon enough. On a plateau of majestic mountains, with misty clouds and a mystical purple sky, under an ancient tree, a powerful master was training, radiating soft green energy. With his eyes closed, he sensed every tiny shift in the air and all living things. A silk thread in his palm pulsed with energy that flowed outward. These threads snaked through the night forest. The man controlling these sharp, delicate strings was none other than Bai Mi. Waiting for the perfect moment of energy, he suddenly shouted and pulled them taut. Instantly, the slender threads moved with lightning speed, like a blur of wind passing through. In just a single pass, they sliced tree trunks into countless uneven pieces that came crashing down with a roar. After he was done showing off, Bai Mi just yelled, "Return!" And all the threads shot back from every direction, reforming into energy around him. Just then, a man suddenly appeared and approached the place where he was meditating. "Congratulations, Master, on finally perfecting the heavenly web." The disciple bowing respectfully before him was Lu Ti. He was absolutely sure that with this technique, his master could sweep through all of Huaxia completely unopposed. Bai Mi's face didn't change at the praise. He calmly opened his eyes and asked, "Any movement from Fudilong Tiangang?" Lu Ti bowed his head and reported honestly, "I've heard nothing." Then he suddenly remembered something else he needed to mention. "Oh right, Master, your student Nihu. He was killed by some guy in Chuzhou named Li Xiaofan." Hearing that another one of his disciples was dead didn't stir any emotion in the old master. Nihu was just an outer disciple, nothing special. Dead is dead. But this whole thing did make him lose face. So he ordered Lu Ti, "Go to Huaxia and kill that Li Xiaofan kid. A pipsqueak like that isn't worthy of my personal attention." Lu Ti immediately accepted the order. Bai Mi didn't linger and simply left. This conversation brought up an old score he had yet to settle. Long Tian Gang. Years ago, we fought for 3 days and 3 nights. In the end, you got lucky and beat me by half a move, forcing me to stay out of Huaxia for 10 years. A strange treasure, glowing with an irresistible light, suddenly appeared in his hand. This was the prize Bai Mi had gained during his seclusion. Now, the 10-year promise is up. I have trained in the deep forest for a decade. I've finally cultivated this heavenly web to the state of great perfection. One look at that sharp, determined glare and you just know the old man thinks he's the bee's knees, confident he could even take down a god-tier master. Just the thought of victory was enough to make him throw his head back and cackle with glee. Ha ha ha. A laugh so loud it probably echoed through the entire mountain range. The second day arrived with fresh, pleasant weather. Perfect for anything but family drama. But inside a certain luxury home, one person couldn't enjoy the nice day. Not after the whole recent disaster involving Han Yen. Jiang Tam and Guyet, that backstabbing traitor, actually dared to harm her own niece. When Trong Thui got the news, he went pale with rage, shaking. Is she even human? Han Yen worried from the sidelines, ever the damsel in distress. "Father, Auntie is now working with Medicine King Valley to launch a buyout of the Jiang Group." She continued with the bad news. "If we can't come up with 10 billion, the Jiang Group will probably fall into their hands by tomorrow." Not Niem's situation isn't much better. 10 billion is impossible. With Medicine King Valley meddling from the inside, no one will give us a loan. Just then, the television was broadcasting a live event for the long-awaited Van Hoa Ho Dong project, which was finally having its grand opening today. Han Yen couldn't just sit around and wait for doom, so she immediately stood up and told her father, "I'm going to call young Master Tong Ni. He might help us." Suddenly, a noise on the stairs caught Trong Thui's attention. He walked toward it, his voice faltering. "Tu fam, you're..." The young man cut in with a low voice. "Uncle Jiang, thank you for these past few days. I plan to leave Han Nam and return to Sochao today." The older man looked like he wanted to say more, but decided against it. "Fine, it's better if you leave. At least you won't get dragged down with us when Medicine King Valley swallows the Jiang Group whole." Then he turned to his son, not Niem. "Go get those 100-year-old ginseng roots I prepared and give them to Li Taixuan for his father's health." Trong Thui took the wooden box, his face full of gratitude. "Tu fam, we've really put you through a lot these past few days. First, you saved my life. Then you saved Not Niem's life, and yesterday you saved Han Yen. You are the great benefactor of the Jiang family." He happily handed the box to Tu Fam and explained, "The Jiang family isn't what it used to be. We don't have much to offer. These ginseng roots are a treasure our family has collected for years, great for longevity. Take them to your father. Consider it a small token of my appreciation." But the kid wouldn't take the gift, only the sentiment. "Uncle Jiang, you're too kind." Then he pushed the box back towards Trong Thui. "If you hadn't risked your life to save my father back then, I wouldn't even be here today. So really, I was just repaying an old debt." As the two were in the middle of this touching moment, Han Yen came rushing in from outside. "Hold on, Li Tufam, you can't leave just yet." Seeing his daughter's insolence, her father got angry. "Han Yen, what are you trying to do now?" Trong Thui was very unhappy with her attitude. "With our current situation, keeping Li Tufam here will only get him into trouble, don't you see?" She came up to him and explained, "Dad, I just called young Master Tong Yi. He agreed to help us, but on one condition." Then Han Yen turned to the young man. "Li Tufam, because you embarrassed young Master Tong Ni in front of so many people at the tournament. Young Master Tong Ni said that if you just apologize to him and personally beg for his help, he will agree to help our Jiang family get through this crisis." Tu Fam, being a glutton for punishment, agreed to help her out. Out of respect for Uncle Jiang, he said, I will help you one more time. You don't need to find that Tong Ni guy. The Jiang group needs 10 billion? I'll provide it. Tu Fam's words left the entire Jiang family standing there, stunned. But of course, she didn't believe a word he said. Li Tu Fam, stop joking. This isn't a kid's game, this is 10 billion. 10 billion. You probably don't even know what that means. It's more money than a normal person like you could earn in several lifetimes. Seeing that she didn't believe him, Tu Fam immediately pointed at the news playing on the TV. I'm not joking. Seeing the live broadcast of the Van Hoa Ho Dong opening, he said, No, that is my real estate company. At this, Not Niem was even more astonished. The Van Hoa Ho Dong Villa Complex, I've heard of it. It's the most high-end villa area in all of Sochao. At the opening broadcast on TV just now, almost every big shot from Sochao came to show support. Transactions that day exceeded 100 billion, causing a huge sensation. Saying this, he looked at Tu Fam with pure joy, as if he were a savior, his eyes filled with admiration. I can't believe the boss behind Van Hoa Ho Dong is actually brother Tu Fam. But contrary to her easily convinced brother, Han Yen was more skeptical. Not Niem. How can you be so naive? Only you would believe that kind of talk. Li Tufam is so young, and he's not some rich heir. Use your brain. How could he possibly be the owner of Van Hoa Ho Dong? Just as everyone was arguing, Cat Tin walked in, followed by two of his goons. Han Yen, I'm here. And just so we're clear, Li Tufam has to get on his knees and apologize to me personally. Seeing her guest had arrived, Han Yen rushed to urge him on. So Li Xiaofan, weren't you just talking all day about how you wanted to repay our Jiang family? Well, here's your big chance. Get on your knees and apologize to young Master Song right now. At that moment, the guy held up a contract, yelling, The $10 billion contract? I've got it right here. Li Xiaofan, whether or not this contract gets signed really depends on how you behave today. But inside, he was just sneering. You think you're so tough, kid? If I don't crush you today, my name's not Song. And signing? Forget about it. But seeing how ridiculous she was being, our boy patiently tried to reason with her. Jiang Xinran. Oh, Jiang Xinran. Out of respect for your father. I'm telling you, there's still time to come over and stand with me. As for that 10 billion you mentioned, that's not a big deal. One phone call from me can fix it. But she just had to have it her way. She just exploded, screaming, Li Xiaofan, do you honestly think you're some kind of savior? Okay, fine, I admit you've got some skills, and I appreciate you saving my life last night. But of course, Shinran didn't bother asking his opinion because she clearly knew best. But that's exactly why I'm playing mediator between you and young Master Song, so he'll finally let you off the hook. Seeing the two of them still undecided, Gashing decided to pile on even more pressure. Shinran, you have to understand. Medicine King Valley is not to be messed with. I had to pull strings with the Shanfeng group just to get this contract for your Jiang family. My patience is running a little thin. Xiaofan couldn't stand the guy's arrogance anymore and scoffed. Young Master Song, I'll say it again. You want me to apologize to a pathetic ant like you? You think you could even handle it? All the while, Gei Xing just sat there, silently sipping his water. Xiaofan crossed his arms and let out a cold laugh. Isn't this just some tiny little contract? A measly 10 billion? And that Shanfeng group you supposedly built? I couldn't care less. So for you to use this pathetic little thing to threaten me is honestly just childish. Hearing this, the guy who was drinking his water almost did a full-on spit take. Guxing shot back with a challenge. Just a measly 10 billion, huh? If you're that loaded, prove it. Let's see you put it on the table. He wasn't about to let this crowd push him around. Xiaofan just pulled out his phone. Like I already told you, one phone call is all it's going to take to solve this. You'll all believe me soon enough. He then stepped into a corner to make a call. Meanwhile, Zhang Shui was absolutely furious with Shinran for how she was treating their benefactor. He roared in anger. This is completely absurd. With a dark face, he scolded her. Shinran, a man's knees are like gold. He only kneels for heaven, for earth, and for his parents. You people are pushing him way too far. Have any of you even considered Xiaofan's feelings in all this? If it were you, would you be willing to kneel and apologize in front of everybody? But naturally, Shinran wasn't listening. She still thought she was right, muttering, A little kneeling isn't going to make him lose any skin. I'm doing this for the Jiang family. Then Zhang Shui went right up to Jet Xing and asked him point blank, So, if Li Xiaofan doesn't kneel and beg, this deal is dead, is that correct? The guy just crossed his arms and smirked. I believe I made myself perfectly clear, and I have no desire to repeat myself. Seeing that Jet Xing wouldn't back down, the old man understood, gave a slight nod, and then Zhang Shui turned to walk away. If that's how it's going to be, then we're not signing the contract. We don't need the 10 billion. This completely shocked the guy. What? Juxing shot to his feet, yelling, Uncle Jiang, what is the meaning of this? He calmly repeated his decision. It means nothing. We can always earn more money, but there are some things that, once you lose them, you can never get back. For example, dignity. And with that, he waved his hand, showing them the door. So, young Master Song, please see yourself out. Furious that he didn't get his way, Gexing slapped the old man's hand away. Jiang Zhuang Shui, cut the righteous act with me. If it weren't for Shinran, an old fossil like you is nothing in my eyes, and you certainly don't have the right to talk to me like that. The guy then angrily jabbed a finger right in the old man's face, threatening him. Fine. Without my contract, let's see how your Jiang Corporation keeps running. Just you wait for bankruptcy. Gexing spun around to leave, but not without lobbing one last threat. You cross me, and I'll make sure none of you have a future in Hannan. And even though her dad had kicked him out, Shinran, of course, ran after him, trying to pull him back. Young Master Song, let's just talk about this calmly. But Jixing just shoved her away brutally without a second thought, snarling, talk about crap. Suddenly, Xiaofan's voice cut in, stopping him cold. Hold it. Lian, you immediately moved to block Jixing's path. The guy spun around and pointed right at him. Damn it, Li Xiaofan. What the hell is your problem? You really think this young master is scared of you? Zhang Shui thought Xiaofan was actually about to kneel, so he rushed over to stop him. Xiaofan, I get it. I appreciate the thought. A matter this big really isn't your responsibility. It's come to this, and we accept it. No need to stoop to this guy's level. Just let him go. But he told the man firmly, as long as I haven't walked out of this Jiang house, I'm taking care of what happens today. Hearing Xiaofan say that, Kexing plopped right back down in his chair. All right. If Li Xiaofan wants to be stubborn until the bitter end, then this young master will stick around and watch. But he barely got the words out before his phone started buzzing. Juxing picked up the phone. Hello? Dad, what's going on? The news sent him into a panic. What did you just say? The Shanfeng Group has a new owner? Cat Tin was so stunned he could barely speak. No, that's impossible. I literally just walked out of the company. Are you sure you're not mistaken? He hung up, his hands trembling. No way, absolutely not. The guy was shaking like a leaf, completely freaking out. Who could do this? Sun Fong Group was his private company, and he was part of the Song family. Who had the kind of power to just change a company's owner overnight? This couldn't be happening. Seeing him just standing there, completely shell-shocked after the call, Han Yen walked over to ask what was up. Young Master Song, what's going on with you? But he didn't answer her. So, Xiaofan stepped in to speak for the silent statue. How about I answer that question for him? The company under the second Young Master Song's name? I just bought it. It's mine now. Hearing this, Cat Tin's face darkened as his whole body trembled. He stood in the middle of everyone and made his big announcement. Which means, this $10 billion contract, you're signing it with me. Understand? Han Yan was just stunned into silence. And right on cue, a group of professionals walked in, looking like they owned the place. The leader walked right up to Xiaofan and presented him with a contract. Mr. Li, the 100 billion in cash from Van Hoa Ho Dong has been transferred. Please sign. Then the others came forward one by one, asking for his signature. Mr. Li, this is the transfer agreement for the Sunfong Company. As you requested, the fee is 1 billion. If you'll please sign here. Mr. Li, here are the real estate documents for the Sunfong Company. Your signature is needed here. And Mr. Li, the documents for the Sunfong Company's stock transfer, which also require your signature. Seeing this, Cat Tin finally snapped. What are you doing? Selling my personal assets for pennies? My Sunfong Group is worth at least 20 billion. Did I give you permission? He pointed a shaky finger at them, his face dark with rage. I'm Song Cat Tin. Of the Song family, I won't let you get away with this. Before he could have a complete public meltdown, Wang Fei swept in and cut him off. Second Young Master Song, she said, not holding back at all. As far as I know, most of those assets of yours were taken by force anyway. Mr. Li buying you out for 1 billion is actually doing you a favor. When he saw it was Wang Fei, he got scared and didn't dare make another sound. The Wang family from the imperial capital, even someone that powerful was bowing respectfully in front of Xiaofan. Mr. Li, my apologies. I'm late. After I received your call, I arranged everything immediately. I hope I didn't mess up your important plans. Are you satisfied with the result? Xiaofan gave a slight nod. Thanks. Then he walked coldly up to Cat Tin and, without hesitating, slapped him hard across the face. Second Young Master Song, weren't you just demanding I kneel and beg for your forgiveness? You really think you're worthy of that? Cat Tin held his face, furious. Li Xiaofan, you dare hit me? Xiaofan responded with cold strength, not holding back one bit. I'm not just going to hit you, I'm going to cripple you. A loud crack echoed from his legs, and as if his power was cut, he collapsed onto the ground. Xiaofan brought his foot down on the guy's knee, then looked down on him with pure contempt. Second young master song. If only you knew. In my eyes, you're not even as good as a dog. Prestigious young master? What a joke. The so-called outstanding talent of Han Nam? Worthless. Then he turned his attention back to her. Jiang Han Yan, I told you before. One phone call from me could solve everything, but you just refused to believe me. Xiaofan casually picked up the contract. It's only 10 billion, right? Use the Sunfong Group's credit. It's all yours. He walked coldly past Han Yan, leaving her with a final piece of advice. Remember to look at the bigger picture and don't be so cruel with your words, because you truly have no idea what kind of person you're dealing with. And only then did the light bulb finally go on in her head. Li Xiaofan wasn't just better than the second young master song, he was on a whole nother level. He put his pen to the paper and signed the contract. Li Xiaofan. And with that, business was done. He handed the contract to Zhong Shui. Uncle Jiang, this Sunfong company is yours now. I've repaid my debt to you. He turned to leave, his last words filled with regret. Originally, I wanted to turn the Jiang family into a first-tier powerhouse in this country. But unfortunately, because your daughter was so prejudiced against me, I have to give up on that idea. And with that, Xiaofan walked away without looking back. Goodbye. Wang Fei, who had been watching the whole show, finally spoke up. Jiang Zhongshui, you really raised a fine daughter. Faced with a major figure like Mr. Li, she didn't know how to appreciate him and instead clung to that worthless second young master song. She spoke seriously to the clueless group. Let me be perfectly honest with you. All the wealthy families of Hannam combined aren't even worthy to carry Mr. Li's shoes. Then, Wang Fei also turned to leave. The Jiang family had a chance to soar to the top, but what a shame! You crushed that opportunity with your own hands. I truly feel sorry for you. Tunam walked by, flashed a brilliant smile at Han Yen, and then ran to Wang Fei's side. So Thim Che figures out Han Yen isn't just some dumb girl, but a very clever dumb girl, and promptly bursts into tears of rage. But even then, Han Yen had the nerve to argue that Li Xiaofan's dad was being unfair. If his son was so great, why didn't he say so earlier? I mean, wasn't this whole thing just designed to make her look bad? That was the last straw for Trong Tui, who couldn't take her attitude anymore and straight up slapped her. Shut your mouth. Han Yen held her face, tears welling up. Dad, you hit me. Trong Tui roared at his stubborn daughter. Hitting you is getting off easy. How many times have I told you, don't underestimate Xiaofan, but you just wouldn't listen. You made our family lose a huge opportunity. Now go find a chance to apologize to Li Xiaofan, you hear me? But her pride wouldn't let her. Apologize to him? I'd rather die. Fine, I admit I misjudged him. But so what? Li Xiaofan offended a grandmaster. You think he's tougher than a grandmaster? Just then, a trembling Gei Xing, who Xiaofan had flattened earlier, managed to crawl up. My master, Grandmaster Tran, is on his way to Han Nam. The guy was still arrogant, adding viciously. Besides, Li Xiaofan also ticked off the Xingyi sect and Medicine King Valley. I already spoke to the Xingyi sect master, Tu Duquang. He's going to take Li Xiaofan's head for his disciple. Facing these three masters, you really think Li Xiaofan can survive? After settling things, Xiaofan and Lian Yu walked outside. But as they were leaving, something that looked like a token came flying at them. Xiaofan had a pretty good idea who sent it. The token shot straight for his head. Too bad for the token, it had to get past Lian Yu first. She leaped up, snatched it out of the air, and immediately crushed the card, making it explode. Smoke billowed from the card, forming two words in the sky. Tian Hai, Gexing, despite his fresh bruises, was looking awfully confident. It's the Tian Hai token. What did I tell you? The people from Medicine King Valley are here. Li Xiaofan is finished. Hearing about the Tian Hai token, the entire Jiang family started shaking in their boots. That was Medicine King Valley's personal kill order. Looks like Li Xiaofan was too arrogant after all. Now a real grandmaster was at his door. They were all completely screwed. Just then, Tian Yen landed, appearing before the two. He stood on a wall, arms crossed, looking down. So, you're Li Xiaofan? Despite the dramatic entrance, Xiaofan didn't seem scared at all. That's right, the guy announced smugly. I am Tian Yen of Medicine King Valley, here to take your life. But before he could finish, another dude appeared, cutting him off. Hold on. This new guy also landed on the wall, right next to Tian Yen. He introduced himself. I am the disciple of Invincible Grandmaster Bak Mi Lo Tu, here to kill Li Xiaofan and avenge my junior disciple. Tian Yen heard Lo Tu's introduction and was actually impressed. A disciple of Grandmaster Bak Mi, he'd admired him for a while. Seeing they had the same goal, he tried to negotiate. My master and yours were practically brothers. How about you let me kill Li Xiaofan? But Lo Tu wanted the honor for himself. Tian Yen, you must be joking. Li Xiaofan is just a tiny ant. There's no need for you to get involved. I can handle this. The negotiation wasn't going well, and Tian Yen frowned. Brother Lo, my Medicine King Valley's Tian Hai token has been issued. Li Xiaofan has to die by our hand. But then he had another idea. However, if you insist, Brother Lo Tu, I have a suggestion to avoid hurting the relationship between our elders. Lo Tu looked interested. Brother Tian Yen, please, go on. He gave a cunning smile. The Grandmaster tournament is in 2 days. How about we decide who gets to kill Li Xiaofan there? Right, a pre-murder duel to decide the murderer. But Lo Tu was worried, pointing at their target. What if this Li Xiaofan runs away? Tian Yen just laughed. Brother Lo, you underestimate the Tian Hai token. Once the Tian Hai token is out, he can run to the ends of the earth, and we will find him. Getting more worked up, he clenched his fist with a nasty grin. Besides, I've already arranged for my men to be here. Li Xiaofan isn't leaving Han Nam. That seemed reasonable enough. Lo Tu cupped his hands in agreement. All right, in that case, we'll do as you say, Brother Tian Yen. And with that, he turned to leave. Lo Tu, farewell. But did they really think Xiaofan would let them end things so easily after they started it? Stop right there. Lo Tu turned back with a sneer. Kid, you should feel lucky. You get to live for 2 more days instead of dying right now. Xiaofan's voice went cold. But I want you to die right now. And without wasting another word, he gathered his power and launched himself at Lo Tu. He moved so fast and decisively that the guy panicked, with no time to react. What the? Lo Tu took a fist straight to the gut from Xiaofan, and just like that, he was slammed to the ground, dead before he could even fight back. Xiaofan landed. Lo Tu's body sprawled behind him in a pool of his own blood. He turned to face Tian Yen. He deliberately spoke in a dismissive tone. Seeing that attitude, the guy completely lost it. You! He pointed a finger at the kid, his voice dripping with rage. Li Taixuan, Lu Tu is the only disciple of Grandmaster Bak Mi. You dared to ambush and kill him. That's a truly unforgivable crime. Our boy couldn't have cared less, immediately shouting, I guess it's your turn now, while launching an attack as fast as lightning. But this guy had a few tricks up his sleeve, quickly leaping up to dodge the blow, causing a loud crash and the sound of something breaking. In a flash, he'd surprise attacked from behind Taixuan, simultaneously drawing his sword with a smug look on his face. I admit, you've got some skills, he bragged, but I, Li Tianyen, have already ascended to the level of a grandmaster. The blade sliced straight for our hero's neck, but the guy's mouth kept running. How could I possibly let a nobody like you disrespect me? But Taixuan had already seen the move coming. He moved behind him at lightning speed, lowering his voice to ask, Is that so? Taixuan's body seemed to vanish into thin air right before his eyes, making Tianyen whip around in shock, asking himself, What the? Not wanting to waste any more time, he landed a heavy blow on his back from behind, then gave his review. Too weak. The guy's whole body collapsed to the ground, his sword clattering beside him. Taixuan looked down at the pathetic sight and sneered, You call that a grandmaster? Killing you is no different than killing a dog. Totally insulted, he grit his teeth and tried to crawl back up, but the intense pain just made him cough up a huge mouthful of blood. He spat it out, looking up with even more hatred, threatening, Damn you, Li Taixuan, how dare you look down on me? My master, Bak Thu Thui, will be at the Grandmaster tournament in 2 days. Do you dare to show up? My master will show you what a true Grandmaster is, what a real powerhouse looks like. Seeing this pathetic display, Taixuan just turned and slowly walked away, saying, I might. My trip to Han Nam was specifically to meet your so-called Grandmasters anyway. As he spoke, he was quietly gathering spiritual energy in his hand. However, since you decided to mess with me, you'll have to pay a steep price. Whoosh! A giant, invisible hand made of blue energy shot towards Tian Yen. Sensing the approaching danger, his jaw dropped in utter shock. Without letting his opponent react, he swung his hand decisively to finish the job. The strike created a massive boom that echoed through the area. Tian Yen's body lay motionless, slammed against a wall that had crumbled into a cloud of dust. With that taken care of, Taixuan grabbed his suitcase and announced it was time to go. The princess and her niece immediately followed. Tunam was overjoyed, praising him. Auntie, I'm starting to think Mr. Li is kind of cool. Her aunt was not surprised. She advised her with a hidden meaning. Tunam, if you can win Mr. Li's favor, it would be a huge opportunity for you and for our royal family. These words left Tunam a little confused. Auntie, what are you talking about? But the princess didn't say anything, just giving a slight smile before turning to walk away. Over at the Jiang family's place, Cat Tin was a bruised mess on the floor, but he had a triumphant grin on his face. Ha ha, Li Taixuan has really gone and poked the hornet's nest this time. At the Grandmaster tournament in 2 days, I'm going to watch him get tortured to death by the 3. No, the 4 Grandmasters, he threatened, dragging his bloodied legs while glaring. Jiang Tui, the tournament has always been a tradition for settling issues between the great families of Han Nam, using fists to divide up territory. And now you're actually siding with Li Xiaofan? Your Jiang family is about to be targeted by all the major families in Han Nam. Just you wait. Han Yen heard this and immediately panicked. Dad, I think young Master Tong is right. Maybe we should use this chance to cut ties with Li Xiaofan and avoid disaster. She got more and more frantic, trying to persuade him. If we get too close to him, it will surely bring death upon us and drag down the entire Jiang family. But Trong Tui, trusting his own judgment, firmly disagreed. That may be so, but I still have high hopes for this Tu Pham kid. My gut tells me he's anything but a nobody. He confidently walked toward his daughter. He asserted, Han Yen, that Tu Pham kid is not a petty person, otherwise he wouldn't have helped the Jiang family over and over again. He gripped his daughter's shoulders, trying to reason with her. So, if you listen to me, go and apologize to Tu Pham now. There's still time. When she saw her father was still like this, she angrily made a vow. If he doesn't die at the Grandmaster tournament, forget apologizing, I'll get on my knees and bow to him. Seeing his daughter being so stubborn and disobedient, Trong Thui was at a loss and could only sigh and leave. Ah, a beautiful day with clear skies, white clouds, and a golden sun. Next to the seashore sat a large, luxurious yacht. This was the location for this year's competition. On the yacht, cameras were clicking away, and several people were busy giving interviews. Being able to participate in this year's Grandmaster tournament is an honor for me. A few reporters took the opportunity to snap some photos and hunt for news. After traveling for a while, Tu Pham's group also arrived at the competition venue. The princess spoke up. Mr. Li, the Grandmaster tournament is the ultimate showdown in Han Nam. There's nothing else like it. She turned towards Tu Pham and continued. At the Grandmaster tournament, the big shot families send their strongest fighters to throw down. Trotting behind him, she added that the results basically decide which family gets the biggest slice of the pie. Even on the ship, the princess was still yammering on. But get this year's different. The princess kept talking, saying last year one Grandmaster made a huge splash, but this year? Oh boy, 4 of them showed up. She paused, looking super worried, because apparently these 4 Grandmasters are all. So Xiaofan just stops and cuts in. You trying to say they all have a beef with me? Ji Zinan, standing right there, piped up all confident. Auntie, I've got total faith in Mr. Li. What 4 Grandmasters? They're definitely no match for Mr. Li. He then calmly explained his reasoning. I came to Hanam this time. Besides repaying the Jiang family, I also want to meet those high and mighty Grandmasters. Since it's a hassle, might as well round them all up and deal with them at once. He got a little thoughtful, doing some quick mental math in his head. His current power level was almost maxed out, with just one final step before he could enter the God-tier stage. After all his recent training, the amount of pure energy he'd stockpiled had reached a frankly terrifying level. Feeling all that raw power, he was actually getting excited. Guess I'll use this chance for a breakthrough. Hopefully these so-called legends don't end up disappointing me. Out of nowhere, a polite greeting was aimed at some tough-looking girl with her short hair tied back. Miss A. Guli, the guy from the Liu family, kept up his super respectful tone. Later in the match, our Liu family is counting on you. If you win just one fight, our family gets another share. Please, Miss A. Guli, you've got to help us. Her face was a total blank as she replied. Fine, then added with a healthy dose of arrogance. Fighting might not be our specialty, but your average martial artist is basically no match for me. Looking all smug, she glanced over at Yika and her mom, adding, I also want to use this chance to see if you Central Plains masters are as tough as the rumors say. Yika suddenly spotted Xiaofan's crew strolling up all casual-like. The second she saw them, she immediately waved a greeting. Xiaofan, you're here too. Her 2 companions also bowed their heads. Mr. Li. His eyes flickered over, sensing something, before he pointed a hand at Guli to make his assessment. This young lady's skill isn't bad, but her fighting style isn't suited for an arena battle. If you Liu family folks want to win a few matches today, you should probably switch fighters. Hearing her strength get dissed, she furiously pointed her finger and shouted, Stop right there! She leaped forward, throwing down a challenge. You look down on me? If you've got the guts, we'll settle this later. Looking bored, Xiaofan just pointed at Lian Yu and suggested, A little pipsqueak like you? I'm not interested. If you want to fight, you can fight her. Getting the nod from her master, the kid rolled her eyes and stuck out her tongue, totally taunting the girl. Guli was absolutely furious, her whole body glowing with a fiery red aura. Lian Yu, sensing it, seemed surprised and said, Master, this young lady has an energy inside her that's similar to mine, but not as strong. It's so weird, I've never seen it before. Xiaofan calmly confirmed, I noticed it too. As long as she doesn't start trouble with us, just ignore her for now. Gashing, sitting in his wheelchair, stared intently at the entrance hall down below. Shinran saw this and slowly walked over to ask, "Second young master song, Grandmaster Chen, why isn't your master here yet? The tournament is about to start. You don't think he bailed, do you?" The guy just scowled and snapped. "A major figure like my master would never break his word. Just wait." Hearing that, she got all excited and suggested, "Geishing, I heard your master is pretty tight with the head of the Xingyi sect, Situ Wangwo. Sect head Situ is also coming today, so if there's a chance, can you get your master to put in a good word with sect head Situ to take me on as a student?" The guy puffed out his chest and happily agreed. "No problem. Your business is my business, Shinran. Just as long as you make a clean break with that Li Xiaofan, I'll mention it when my master arrives." Shinran looked absolutely thrilled as she agreed. "Don't you worry, Geshing. As soon as I'm a student of sect head Situ, Li Xiaofan will be a complete nobody to me." Just then, Geshing's phone started ringing and he flipped it open. Seeing the call was from his dad, he answered, "Dad, what's up?" After hearing the reply from the other end, he got super excited and yelled, "Dad says Master Grandmaster Chen is here. Okay, I'm coming right over." He turned to the side to share the good news, urging, "Shinran, let's go, my master's here." The weather today was actually pretty nice, with sunlight glinting off the skyscraper's windows. Inside the room, Wang Wo was having tea and chatting with Grandmaster Sikong. Suddenly, the door burst open, and the Zihui father and son walked in, hands clasped in a formal greeting. "Grandmaster Chen, sect head Situ, if you need anything at all while you're in Hanam, just give the word." Gashing quickly jumped in, speaking to Sikong. "That's right, master. Even though I, Song Gexing, am only your disciple in name. But for this old-timer, who they basically saw as their dad, they insisted he could drop the formal act." Hearing this, the old guy made a whole show of slowly setting down his teacup, replying, "Master Song, second young Master Song, you're too kind." The old man then gestured toward Wang Yi and said, "Grandmaster Situ is here today. I'm sure you all have something to discuss." Gushing's whole plan was instantly exposed, and the guy got super awkward, admitting nothing gets past his master. "My girlfriend, Jiang Shinran, totally looks up to Grandmaster Situ and wants to become his disciple. Would Grandmaster Situ maybe consider taking Shinran on?" Old man Saikong jumped in to play wingman for his disciple, asking, "Brother Situ, what do you think?" Since the other party had chimed in, he didn't even hesitate and agreed instantly. "A small matter. She can be my registered disciple for now." And just like that, Shinran was completely over the moon. She gratefully said, "Thank you, Grandmaster Chen," and then wasted no time dropping to her knees on the floor. She bowed super solemnly, face to the floor, and declared, "This disciple greets her master." The second that was over, he quickly waved his hand, basically shooing them away. "All right, get up. All of you, head out for a bit. Brother Chen and I are going to catch up on old times." The three of them took the hint and left together. Wang Yi immediately got back to business, dying to know, "Brother Chen, so what brings you to Hannan this time?" The old man's face got all serious as he explained, "Brother Situ, there's something you don't know. A while back in Yunzhou, I nearly kicked the bucket." Hearing this, the other guy was totally stunned, immediately guessing, "What? Did that Long Tian gang beast get its claws on you?" The old man looked kinda sheepish as he confessed, "Sigh. I was actually injured by some teenager. His power level was completely off the charts. It blew my mind. Before I met him, I honestly thought I was the baddest dude in the world." The old guy got this total fanboy look in his eyes thinking about Xiaofan and kept on talking. "It's a shame, really. In front of him, I couldn't even put up a fight. The guy is like some ancient monster reborn, beyond anything we can imagine. I came to Hannan this time just to pay my respects to him." Wang Yi saw the look on old man Sikong's face and got all eager himself. "Anyone who can impress Brother Chen must be a real master. Let me meet him too when you go back." Then he dramatically slammed his hand on the table and switched gears. "But let's forget about that for now. You sit tight for a minute. I gotta go deal with a little problem downstairs. Then we can talk more." Sikong just casually poured some tea, totally cool with it. "I'll wait for you here." The guy stood up, cracked his knuckles, and made a classic promise, "I'll definitely be back before this tea gets cold." From the noisy arena, a huge crash echoed out. Yao Jing had just wrecked his opponent, kicking the poor guy into the air before arrogantly taunting the Liu family in the stands. "What four great medicinal families of Hannan? What a load of crap. You losers actually dare to compete with my Medicine King Valley? Next up, the Liu family gets to die." Wei Kei turned to Gu Li, desperately begging for help. "Miss Gu Li, the Liu family is counting on you." So, of course, she just leaped powerfully onto the stage. Gu Li landed on the stage, right in front of her opponent. She clasped her hands in a formal greeting before the fight, saying, "Please instruct me." But Yao Jing couldn't have cared less. He just tapped his fan with a look of total contempt. "A mere woman dares to ask me for instruction?" He dropped into an attack stance and immediately unleashed his energy, charging forward and screaming that he was going to cripple her. Li slammed her palms together, focused her spirit, and started muttering a strange chant as a purple aura suddenly exploded around her body. Thick streams of black energy also began pouring out. It shot straight for her opponent like the wind, wrapping around Yao Jing and making him gasp in surprise. What is this stuff? Down in the stands, Lian. You recognized the familiar energy and got all excited. Master that girl. She's one of my kind. I knew I wasn't wrong, but Xiaofan was way more chill about it, not like you. This Agu Li girl just uses some weird kind of technique. Her aura only feels similar to yours. His eyes still glued to the fight. He added with just a hint of regret. Her talent isn't bad, but unfortunately, her cultivation is still weak. Up on stage, trapped in the black energy, Yao Jing was screaming, "Let me go right now, or I swear I'll take your life." His teammate Xiao Mei was getting nervous down below. Tianran, senior brother Yao is trapped. Should we do something? But the guy next to her was still watching for the perfect moment. No. We wait for Li Xiaofan to show himself. Then we all strike together. He continued explaining their brilliant plan. We're here for Li Xiaofan this time. We absolutely have to kill him before our master arrives. But the current situation was making her nervous, so she had to remind him, but what if senior brother Yao loses? The spot for Medicine King Valley. Before she could even finish, he suddenly barked a command. Sword, go! The sword on his back instantly flew out of its sheath. It shot onto the stage, slashing repeatedly, and the dark energy was quickly shredded until it just disappeared. Yao Jing was free, and he grabbed the sword. Guli saw it and furiously stammered, You cheated! He just went back to being arrogant, strolling over with a laugh and a lame excuse. Heh, little girl, I was just calling my own weapon back to me. How can you possibly call that cheating? He saunters over to Guli, laying the threats on thick. You should have listened to young Master Yao. You're toast now. Totally unimpressed with his dirty tricks, she just quits. Fine, I'm done fighting. See ya. She turns to walk off the stage, but oh no, he's not having it. If you've already arrived, you don't just get to leave. So he swings his sword at Guli's back, the cold blade tearing through the air. She spins around just in time to parry the surprise attack. But she wasn't strong enough. She gets knocked flat onto the floor, and all that energy swirling around her just fizzles out. The sinister Yao Jing steps forward and declares, Anyone who opposes my medicine, King Valley, walks only one path. A powerful aura swirls around him as his voice slowly emphasizes, and that path is death. Without hesitation, he slashes towards Guli. She stares in horror at the approaching blade, instinctively raising a hand to shield herself. Then suddenly, Lian Yu appears, her entire body radiating a red aura as she shields her. She casually catches the blade with her bare hand, looks back and says, My master told me to save your life. Then she adds, Now, watch me get some payback for you. Recognizing who just crashed the party, an enraged Yao Jing yanks his sword back to assess the situation. You're that little maid who hangs around Li Xiaofan. But then he immediately lunges forward, screaming, Excellent, now you can die too! Lian Yu casually puts up a hand to block the attack. She smirks, then unleashes a powerful counterattack of her own. The clang of claws on steel echoes as streams of red and green energy clash back and forth. Witnessing this intense fight, the reporters below are snapping pictures while asking, Who is this young lady? The whole press corps is snapping away, shouting praises. She's amazing. She's actually fighting on par with young Master Yao of Medicine King Valley. Young Master Yao had already beaten several people for the Liu family, so she must be another fighter they hired. Up on stage, the battle is still fierce. Yao Jing attacks relentlessly, but she's not even sweating, nimbly dodging every single blow. The second an opportunity appears, she zips behind him and whispers, I'm done playing with you. With one swift strike to his back, she sends him flying off the stage, screaming in agony. Ah! Yao Jing struggles to stand using his sword, then just starts roaring with absolute rage. Damn it! He's about to charge back on stage, but his brother stops him with a calm, calculating look. Brother Yao, be patient. Let's wait for Li Xiaofan to show up, then it won't be too late to deal with them all together. Old Master Shuang is completely stunned by the result, stammering to confirm, does this mean my Liu family won? Yi Kei was a little confused about why Li Xiaofan would help, but hey, the Liu family winning a round means business will be much better next year, all thanks to him. Seeing Yao Jing had no intention of re-engaging, Lian Yu decided to taunt him. So, you still got any fight left in you? Come on up, this lady is ready to play all day. Immediately, a foot hit the platform and someone else leaped up. Chen Zong lands on the stage, looking down on her. Just a little girl. The Chen family is here to test you first. The old man puffed out his chest. Little girl, this old man is a master of internal Kai. If you don't allow me to finish my introduction, she did not let him finish his introduction. A swift kick sends him flying, spitting blood. Thwump! Chenzong hits the floor hard and bounces right off the stage, letting out a cry. Oof. And right after, Suchet took his chance and leaped up to replace him. Ha! He barely landed before announcing his name. The Su family is here too, and Lian Yu leaps forward, leaving 3 sharp, bleeding claw marks on his face, making him scream, Ah! Suchet's body flies off the stage, and before he can even hit the ground, the next person is already jumping up to fight. The Li family is here for a lesson. Little girl, your streak is about to end. Just like the others before him, Li Chu gets wrecked mid-sentence. All you could hear was a pathetic groan. The reporters below went even crazier. They were snapping pictures and cheering excitedly. Has this young lady won more than a dozen matches in a row? She's a monster. The Liu family gets a clean sweep. Doesn't that mean the biggest share goes to the Liu family? They're the biggest winner today. The Song family and Medicine King Valley's big shots can only get the leftovers this time. Meanwhile, the Liu family was absolutely ecstatic. Mrs. Zheng Xian was over the moon with excitement and couldn't help but exclaim, I was only hoping the Liu family could win one match. That would have been amazing. I never expected such a glorious day for us. This is all thanks to Mr. Li. Old Master Shuang turned to his daughter and reminded her, Yi Ke, later you must make sure to thank Mr. Li properly. From now on, whatever Mr. Li requests, we must respectfully agree. Hearing this, Yi Nian's hands clenched into trembling fists. Her voice was a little shaky. Father, I never imagined a little maid traveling with Li Xiaofan could be so powerful. Her face filled with regret. She added, if I hadn't argued with Brother Fan back then, the glory the Liu family achieved today probably would have belonged to my Jiang family. Old Master Zhang Shui just sighed in resignation. What's done is done. I don't expect the Jiang family to rise again. I just hope Shinran stops making mistakes. Hearing this, his daughter got annoyed and shot back. Father, I'll say it again. You all think way too highly of Li Xiaofan. So what if he helped the Liu family win a few matches? She fumed, stepping forward with a resentful glare. So, my daughter was lucky enough to meet 2 grandmasters, and Master Situ has already agreed to make her his disciple. She puffed out her chest, getting even more smug, and declared that Li Xiaofan was a total nobody in her eyes now. On the stage, Lian Yu let out a bored yawn and asked, anyone else want to fight? Suddenly, a wheelchair was pushed onto the stage. Gixing from his chair announced loudly, everyone, the person the Liu family invited today is the enemy of the 4 grandmasters, Li Xiaofan. His father, standing right behind him, chimed in, that's right, this little girl is one of Li Xiaofan's people. Li Xiaofan knows he's going to die, so coming here is just to cause trouble. I propose we cancel this entire competition. All the guys who'd already lost immediately piped up. The Chen family agreed to cancel, the Song family agreed, and so did Medicine King Valley. And with that, the 3 brothers from Medicine King Valley all jumped up at the same time. They landed around Lian Yu, surrounding her like they were afraid she'd run. Unfazed, she just crossed her arms with a sarcastic tone. You all look so proper, but you can't even take a loss. She waved her hand clearly over it. This is boring. I'm done playing with you. Yao Jing quickly flicked open his fan to block her, deliberately stopping her from leaving. His expression turned sinister as he laid out his condition. Little girl, if you want to leave, call Li Xiaofan out here to die. Lian, you just scoffed at him. Just the 3 of you? You want me to call my master? Please, I could finish you all off with one hand. Naturally, these words made his face twist up in an ugly, furious scowl. He instantly unleashed his spiritual power, summoned his sword, and yelled, Enough talk! Get in formation! The second he spoke, Xiao Mai summoned her own magical weapon as energy swirled. Yao Jing also quickly struck a fighting pose. Hya! In a flash, all 3 weapons shot straight toward Lian Yu, who immediately unleashed her own power. Her eyes were locked on the 3 energy blasts rocketing toward her. Long, sharp black claws struck out relentlessly, fending off the attack from the 3 disciples. Their weapons hammered directly against her protective shield, trying to punch through with all their might. Tianron's sword tip finally pierced the barrier with a crack, a sound that seemed to genuinely surprise Lian Yu for a second. Seeing this, Yao Jing got cocky. Little girl, this is the Heaven and Earth Trinity formation from Medicine King Valley. We can kill even ordinary masters with this. With her energy shield shattered, the sword sliced down, leaving a cut on her arm. Lian, you quickly leaped back, dodging the weapons as their momentum carried them straight into the floor. She landed in a wide stance to keep her balance, glaring furiously at them. Seeing the blood on her arm, her rage finally began to bubble over. You jerks. Suddenly, her eyes went ice cold as she focused her power. Her body erupted in a pillar of light that sent the guys scrambling back in fear. Through the white smoke, the figure of a grown woman in a red dress slowly became visible. Lian Yu had returned to her adult form. Her face was revealed. her sharp eyes glinting as she whispered, "Looks like it's my turn to really shine." Lian Yu opened her mouth, about to charge. But Xiaofan, who had appeared out of nowhere, put a hand on her head to stop her. "Stop messing around. I'll take it from here." Then another puff of white smoke appeared. She changed back into a kid, holding her head and sulking. You guys got off easy." Seeing his target had arrived, Tianran shook his fist and shouted, "Li Xiaofan, you actually dared to show up. Now you die." The three magical weapons immediately shot towards where Xiaofan was standing. He took a single step forward, and energy erupted from his foot. The attack was instantly shattered and reversed, sending the Medicine King Valley disciples flying back. Xiaofan, radiating pure power, announced, "Medicine King Valley has done too much evil. Today, it will be destroyed right here." But they refused to give up. Tianran pulled out a pill and yelled back, "You're all talk. Want to take the Berserk Origin pill with us?" To deal with Li Xiaofan, Yu Jing and Xiao Mai immediately nodded. They quickly swallowed the pills, and their power exploded, their bodies swelling up and ripping their clothes to shreds. All three of them attacked with their weapons together. One of them couldn't stop his arrogant taunt. "Li Xiaofan, you're the one who forced us to take this. Even an old grandmaster wouldn't dare enter our Trinity formation now. Die." In a flash, Xiaofan had already leaped above their weapons, his voice full of confidence. "I'll finish you in 3 steps." He lifted his foot and began to count. First stomp. The instant his foot landed, all 3 weapons shattered into tiny fragments that hung in the air. At the same time, the backlash sent all 3 disciples reeling, coughing up blood. Up above, Xiaofan continued his count. Second stomp. With another loud thud, all the broken weapon fragments suddenly shot downward like missiles. They flew so fast they looked like streaks of light, piercing right through Xiao Mai's body. Yao Jing saw this and panicked, immediately lunging to the side. He grabbed Tianran and used him as a human shield. Suddenly being turned into a meat shield, Tianran could only cry out in absolute panic. "What?" the guy stammered, completely shocked as magic shards kept turning him into a human shish kebab. Senior brother?" Yao Jing ditched his buddy on the floor, scrambled up, and bolted, but still yelled back, "Li Xiaofan, you're so gonna regret this." Meanwhile, Li Xiaofan was just chilling, casually surrounded by crackling lightning. He swooped down from above, asking softly, "Think you can run?" The other guy just kept running, muttering under his breath, "Oh, this is bad." Seeing Yao Jing sprinting her way, this girl, Xin Yue, lit up. "Young Master Yao, what happened? Did you totally kill Li Xiaofan?" But Xiaofan was gaining on him, forcing the panicked coward to try and run even faster. His hand suddenly shot out and grabbed the woman in front. A surprised Xin Yue found herself a human shield. "Young Master Yao, what are you doing?" He held her tight and shouted his big threat. "Li Xiaofan, stay back! I know you're friendly with the Jiang family. Jiang Xin Yue is one of them. Come any closer and I'll kill her." Xiaofan's feet touched the ground, and he just kept walking forward. Looking totally calm, he basically thought, "And how exactly is this woman's life my problem?" Yao Jing panicked and squeezed tighter, making Xin Yue shriek in terrified rage. "Young Master Yao, you jerk! I actually trusted you. You said you loved me the most. Is this what your love looks like? Are you even human?" Getting yelled at, he got furious, tightening his hand on her throat. "Shut up! Who do you even think you are? You think I'd waste my time on a stupid girl like you? Now make Li Xiaofan back off, or I'll kill you right now." Xin Yu was terrified, her voice shaking as she begged her family, "Big brother, Shinran, save me!" Her brother, Zhang Shui, just yelled, "Enough! You tried to kill Shinran, and now you have the nerve to call me brother?" Even while being choked, she kept trying to talk. "Brother, I'm your actual sister, and Shinran, your auntie was just confused. I was always so good to you when you were little. Save me, I'm begging you both. Just tell Li Xiaofan to back off." But her brother's face was like stone. "Xiaofan makes his own calls. You did wrong, Xin Yue, so deal with it." Seeing no hope there, she quickly turned to her niece, putting on a sorry face. "Shinran, your auntie is really, really sorry. I never wanted to kill you, I swear. It was all young Master Yao's idea. He forced me. Just help me out a little, please." Shinran turned to Xiaofan. "Li Xiaofan, back away for now. Whatever my aunt did wrong, our family will handle it ourselves." Then she got all smug and started bragging. "Li Xiaofan, I have some unfortunate news for you. The great sect master Situ just agreed to take me as his personal disciple." Xiaofan looked at her like she was a joke. "Trust me, the only unfortunate one here is you." Some guy named Geishing immediately jumped in, warning loudly, "Li Xiaofan, my master, the great master Su Chen, is also here. He's just resting nearby and can show up at any time." But Xiaofan just looked bored and replied scornfully, "A paper tiger. If that's your big trump card, I'm seriously underwhelmed." He thought back with a flash of anger. "Song Xing, you screwed me in our last life. It ends today." Suddenly, a voice boomed from the sky. Where is Li Xiaofan? Get out here and die. Down below, a sniveling student pointed right at him. Sectmaster Situ, that's Li Xiaofan. He's unbelievably arrogant and acted like a total tyrant during the tournament. We've all had enough of his disrespect. Please, Sectmaster Situ, serve him some justice for us. Then a bunch of other family heads chimed in. That's right, we demand the Sectmaster cancel the results of this whole tournament. We beg you, Sectmaster, get rid of this kid, cleanse the toxic energy from Hanan. The crowd kept on pointing fingers. Basically, as long as he's here, we'll never have peace. Shinran just stared up at the master, completely starstruck. Now that's what a real master looks like, she thought. So strong he can make all of Hanan's big shots bow their heads. Her face was filled with pure adoration as she thought to herself, can you even imagine that kind of glory? One day, I'm going to train hard with my master and have thousands of people worship me too. The master summoned his sword, did a flip, landed on the blade, and surfed it through the air straight towards Xiaofan's group. He locked eyes with the kid. You're Li Xiaofan? Xiaofan just wagged a finger with a little smirk. Not bad. You've reached the divine power stage. Too bad the spiritual energy on this planet is so thin, and all the ancient techniques are broken and incomplete, which means you're nothing more than a half-baked, wannabe divine master. The master stayed calm, giving a little warning. Arrogant kid. You've killed so many from my sect. Are these really your last words? Xiaofan just gave him a pitying look. Those ants should feel honored they got to die by my hand. You should be proud, really. And as for you, you're not even in my league. I suggest you run along before you get caught in the crossfire. That's when the master finally snapped, pointing furiously at him. You little punk, you've got a weak power level but a huge mouth. Li Xiaofan, today this master is taking your head to avenge the spirit of my disciple in heaven. His hands start glowing with some kind of green energy, then he angrily points his sword, ready to unleash his power. Finally, he screams his attack, void-slicing sword, and a phantom blade shoots straight toward Xiaofan. Xiaofan just chills inside an invisible force field, totally unafraid, staring down this Wangwo guy. His phantom sword hits the energy field and just poof, shatters. It vanishes, leaving its master looking completely baffled. Down below, Xiaofan is standing there like nothing even happened. The guy's shocked, admitting, Kid, not bad, you've got some moves. But then he adds, still posing on his sword. But trying to play dumb in front of me is like playing with fire. Seeing this guy's whole vibe, Xiaofan just scoffs. Super calm, he makes an offer to Situ Wangwo. I'll give you 3 free shots. Then, he adds a warning. If you still can't break my protective aura after 3 sword strikes, then you can just go die. Kang Hai, a guy on the sidelines, gets all worked up. Li Xiaofan, you are way too arrogant. How dare you talk so big in front of Sectmaster Situ? Then, full of himself, he makes a bet. As the master of the Luyun sect, I'll say this. If Sectmaster Situ can't break your shield in 3 moves, I'll get on my knees and bow to you. Hearing this, Xiaofan is actually a little surprised. He gives the old guy a look. All right, I'll remember you. Then he casually asks if anyone else wants in on the action. The second he says it, some guy named Song Ziqui jumps in, yelling, the Song family's head, Song Ziqui, firmly supports Sectmaster Situ. Seeing this, other families start chiming in. The Yang family too. The Chen family head supports the Sectmaster. Watching this whole bandwagon, a girl named Shinran just shakes her head and sighs in defeat. Finally, she gets up the courage to raise her hand, and the Jiang family. Soon the whole arena is just a roar of noise. Xiaofan just takes a moment, quietly observing the chaos. Wangwo is loving this whole scene, but just then, a single voice cuts through the noisy crowd. I support Li Xiaofan. This stuns all 3 of them. 2 girls start walking confidently toward the fighting stage. The princess declares it again, loud and clear. The Wang family of Longdu supports Li Xiaofan. Some kid next to Kang Hai whispers in his ear, the Wang family of Longdu, they're incredibly powerful, and they're backing Li Xiaofan. A few other guys in the crowd start gossiping. The Wang family really messed up this time. They wanted to back a rising star, but they picked the wrong one. Li Xiaofan won't last a minute against the sect master. But then another hand shoots up, and me. Yike looks absolutely determined, backing up the princess. The Lu family also supports Li Xiaofan. She turns to her parents. Mom, Dad, Xiaofan did our family a huge favor. There's no turning back now. She's completely sure. Even if it means being crushed to pieces, we have to stand with Xiaofan. Her parents both nod. We understand. Seeing this, Wangwo has to admit, the Wang family of Longdu definitely has guts. Then he turns to the princess with a sneer. However, if the head of the Wang family was here, he might actually have a reason to talk to me. His face is just pure contempt. A weak little girl like you means nothing to me. But she gives the attitude right back. Sectmaster Situ, you all think way too highly of yourselves, she says, making every word count. If our master actually thought you were important, he would have come himself. I think that says enough. Suddenly, something appears in the sky. Whoosh! The crowd below spots it instantly and starts freaking out all over again, squinting upwards. Hey look, what is that? It looks like a giant bird or something. A red streak zips across the air. That's a plane. No bird is that fast. As everyone stares in shock, a small, nimble figure lands. That sectmaster glances over, surprised at the newcomer. It's Bai Mi, walking calmly forward as smoke curls around his feet. He turns his head, and you can see he's absolutely thrilled to see his old friend. Bai Mi, I can't believe we're meeting again after all these years. Just wait till I finish this kid, then we'll have a real match. The old guy, completely shameless, points at Xiaofan and yells, "This punk killed 2 of my disciples, Ni Hu and Lu Zi. When you kill him in a bit, make sure to leave him breathing for me. I'm going to make him wish he was dead." Wang Wo, still totally clueless, arrogantly promises, "I will absolutely make that wish come true for you, my old friend." But just then, another voice rings out from the distance. Hold on. Model. And look who it is, Thu Thui, casually riding the waves right to the shore. Everyone watching agrees, this dude knows how to make an entrance. This mysterious new arrival has everyone buzzing with a mix of confusion and excitement. Who is this guy? Nobody in Kulang has ever heard of him. With the way things are going, you just know another Grandmaster is about to show up. And look at that, it's Bai Chu Shui from Medicine King Valley. Counting the others, that makes at least 3 Grandmasters today. This is better than pay-per-view. Chu Shui, just casually standing on the waves, calls out a greeting. "Brother Bai Mi, I didn't expect to see you here." Bai Mi replies, "Brother Chu Shui, it's been years. Looks like you've leveled up." Wang Nga looks up at Chu Shui and cuts right to the chase. "Brother Chu Shui, skip the pleasantries. This kid just killed 3 of your disciples. You must be here for revenge." Before anyone could answer, he whips out his sword and charges. "Let me go ahead and cripple this kid for you." Wang Nga glows with a green aura, looking more unhinged by the second. "Li Xiaofan, my sword is infused with the dark, chilly killing energy from the earth's guts." He then swings his sword forward, and the ground instantly freezes over with a crackle. He claims that if a normal Grandmaster gets even a tiny taste, they'll freeze solid, and their core will shatter. But Xiaofan, protected by his supreme immortal aegis, is completely unfazed. "Oh, is that it? That looks like a cheap party trick to me." The sword energy slams into Xiaofan, and a crack actually appears on his immortal shield. Xiaofan seems genuinely surprised that the sword left a mark. He frowns, thinking, "I'm just one step away from reaching the spirit-severing realm. If I had already broken through, this pathetic little sword strike wouldn't have left a single scratch." His power stuns everyone. He's not dead? Alright, Li Xiaofan actually has some skills. So what if he's skilled? The odds are stacked. With 3 Supreme Grandmasters here for revenge, the outcome is already decided. No one can change it. Wang Nga faces off directly with Xiaofan once more. That single crack on the shield was all the proof he needed. He finally realizes, so this kid is about to have a major power-up. But it's fine, he thinks. I've killed plenty of masters at that level with my own 2 hands. He doesn't hesitate for a second and swings again. Take my second attack, and another blast of green light rockets toward Xiaofan. This power is so immense the crowd starts screaming, "It's too strong! Get back! Get way back! Don't get hit by the blast!" A giant pillar of green light completely swallows him, and the onlookers can only gasp in awe. This attack is on another level. This time, Li Xiaofan is definitely done for. He was lucky to survive the first hit. He's just a kid with a weak foundation. How can he possibly fight a legendary master like Situ Kuangeng? Wang Nga poses with his sword in the middle of the smoke, smiling smugly. "Ha ha. Li Xiaofan, did you think blocking my first sword meant you could block my second?" But as the smoke starts to clear, a figure appears. "Oh, is that so? Your second sword strike seemed pretty average to me." These calm words make the old man gasp. He's not dead. Xiaofan just stands there, totally unbothered. "Situ Kuang Na, is this the ultimate sword energy you're so proud of?" "Honestly, I'm extremely disappointed." Suddenly, Wang Nga lifts his sword, bites his own finger, and sprays blood across the blade, turning it crimson. He lets out a sinister laugh, glowing green again. "If that's how it is, this old man will show you something amazing before you die." The sword suddenly expands to a massive size, crackling with green lightning. He furiously unleashes his special move, the vast river 3,000 swords. Wang Nga swings in a straight line, letting out all its power. Slash! A giant serpent made of pure energy materializes from the blade, roaring as it lunges toward Xiao Fan. But strangely, there's a huge explosion, and the snake just slides across the ground. When the smoke clears, Wang Na is panting, completely exhausted. He can't even stand and collapses to the ground. Chu Shui, watching from the sidelines, provides commentary. He used his own life force to power that attack. It's an ultimate move that Brother Situ has probably only used a few times in his entire life. After this fight, he's going to need at least a few months of rest for his energy to recover. But the giant snake dives from the sky, roaring with a terrifying aura, and swallows Li Xiaofan whole. In that instant, the entire arena shakes violently and cracks into massive pieces. Everyone is just stunned. The power of a grandmaster is world-shaking. To die by a blow like that? Well, Li Xiaofan's death was at least a respectable one. Yi Ke just collapses, unable to stand. Is it over? Princess Wang Fei lowers her eyes, her voice full of regret. Mr. Li and Zenon are completely speechless. Shinran just lets out a sigh. Xiaofan, you brought this all on yourself. Just then, another voice cuts through the silence. Wait, that's not right, look over there! A green light flashes inside the snake, causing it to scream and convulse in terrible pain. And then it just explodes. And from the middle of the chaos, Xiaofan casually walks out. You managed to shatter my protective aura? Well, finally a decent opponent. Let's see if you can offer any more little surprises, Wang Na says, jumping up in shock. How is that possible? Xiaofan's face darkens with a cold sneer. Nothing's impossible. And just like that, he raises his sword, aiming it straight at Situ Wang Na. You got 3 swings at me, now it's my turn. He then glances over at the 2 old masters behind him, calling them out with total contempt. Hey, by me, or whatever, and you, by Thu Thu. Then, with a classic taunt, Xiaofan beckons them forward with his hand. Why don't you two just come at me at the same time? If not, you're gonna miss your chance. You can just see a little twitch in Bai Mi's eyes. You've definitely got some skills. No wonder Ni Hu and Lu Ti fell to you. But for the 3 of us to step in, you're not worthy of that. Xiaofan just ignores him and bellows, Xuan Tian sword, come. The blade remembers its master and flies to him in a flash. Now, the Xuan Tian sword technique is made up of 72 moves in total, and it's the invincible fighting style of the Xuan Tian sect. This sword style is vicious and deadly, with every single slash channeling the laws of heaven and earth. Even our hero has to be cautious with this thing. It basically explains the secrets of the cosmos. He only dared to use it after reaching his absolute cultivation limit. If his own power wasn't up to snuff, unleashing this technique would just cause the sword's energy to turn on him. The sheer power of this thing is enough to make you tremble. Back in the celestial realm, one swing from him sent sword energy through countless stars, slicing the sun down. It shattered the moon, a single strike that stunned the entire universe, with an aura that shook the heavens above and the 9 hells below. Snapping out of that memory, Xiaofan charges forward, launching a ferocious attack. The first sword technique, a move called Sweeping the 8 Wastelands, sends a phantom dragon hurtling right towards Wang Na. He grits his teeth in rage, refusing to lose. He bites off his own middle finger and yells, "Damn you!" Wang Na then spits his blood onto the sword, instantly turning it into a shield. He manages to raise it just in time to block Xiaofan's attack. The internal force is just too much, forcing Wang Na to struggle. He grinds his teeth, screaming, "Freeze for me!" But the power is overwhelming him. Damn it, I can't hold on. So, naturally, he spits a fresh mouthful of blood right onto the shield. Wang Na's eyes are filled with blood vessels, veins bulging on his forehead from the strain. He finally screams at the other 2 for help. By me! By Thu Thui! What are you 2 just standing there for? Get in here! If you don't, all 3 of us are gonna die today! That finally gets Thu Thui to clench his fist and signal Bai Mi to move. The force is relentless, so they both fly behind the shield to join Wang Na. Bai Mi is fuming now. Don't get so arrogant, you little punk. Next, he uses his own power to create orange-yellow tendrils, wrapping them around Wang Na's shield for support. Xiaofan's expression is ice-cold as he keeps pressing his sword forward. On his command, massive boulders begin to rain down from above. Thu Thui is also struggling to hold the line. He raises his celestial gourd, sneering, "So arrogant. You don't know when to quit. You're just digging your own grave." From high above, Xiaofan's Xuantian sword unleashes a powerful bolt of lightning. It hurtles toward the shield, now wrapped in Bai Mi's tendrils and protected by Thu Thui's wall of fire. Shanghai watches this 3-on-1 battle from the sidelines, stroking his beard with a smirk. The tallest tree always gets hit by the wind. This kid's too reckless. He's brought this doom on himself. With that, he clasps his hands behind his back and starts lecturing the people around him. All of you, remember this. A man must be humble, he continues, or disaster will find you. Li Xiaofan right there is a living example of that. Understand? The people nearby just nod along, whether they get it or not. Meanwhile, Xiaofan's expression turns grim, his eyebrows knitted together. A real threat, he thinks to himself. Since my rebirth, this is the first time I've actually felt like my life is on the line. But this is also the perfect chance for me to break through. And with that, a sky-piercing column of energy erupts, shrouded in a web of power. Xiaofan raises his hands high toward the sky. The power of the supreme immortal eye flashes as he shouts, "Pierce heaven and earth, Xuan Tian Tru Qi, break for me." The immense force creates a huge vortex around the pillar of energy at his feet. Wang Nga's face goes pale. Is this kid having a breakthrough right now? Bai Mi unleashes all his power to counterattack. This is our chance for a killing blow. Thu Thui joins in, arrogant kid, trying to break through mid-battle. Isn't it a bit late? Thu Thui and Bai Mi combine their strength, creating flaming arrows that rocket toward Xiaofan, who shows absolutely no fear. Divine Power Realm, cut them down for me. On his command, the Xuan Tian's sword slashes down toward the ground. Every strike lands on Wang Nga's shield, sending him into a panic. He scrambles backward to avoid the blows, his face a mask of pure terror. Arg! Xiaofan's gaze is ice cold, and a small blue flame continues to burn on his fingertip, Xuan Tian's sword intent. Then, with a flick of his wrist, the sword follows his command, piercing straight through Wang Nga's body. The guy couldn't believe his eyes, they bulged as blood flew everywhere, and poof, before he finished his sentence, his body exploded into a million pieces. Bai Mi and Thu Tui, watching from the sidelines, were understandably freaked out. What was that? Run. But Xiaofan just gave them a smug, dismissive little smirk. Run? He scoffed. Maybe you had a shot before I hit my final form, but now? You really think you're getting away from this? So, while those two were busy running for their lives, Xiaofan just kept using his ridiculous power to summon the Xuan Tian. The second sword appeared, the sword that cradles the heart. It shot up, flashed bright, then dove straight down. Bai Mi gritted his teeth and cursed. You think you can bully me? He yelled, refusing to give up. He flexed his inner power and suddenly ballooned into a towering giant. Thu Thui stopped running to team up. He tossed his gourd into the air, which also got supersized, and shouted, Secret art of heaven swallowing! The now giant Bai Mi leaped down from way up high, smashing a fist into the ground with world-shaking force. But Xiaofan, just chilling in the ruins, completely protected by this weird web-like shield. Meanwhile, Thu Thui was giving it his all, making the gourd spew out these massive waves of churning fire. The flames wrapped around Xiaofan as the gourd tried to suck him in like a vacuum cleaner. Suck him in for me. After unleashing all that, Bai Mi casually put his hands behind his back and told Thu Thui, that heavenly web, it's my masterpiece. There's no way that little punk is getting out. Thu Thui then started bragging about his own gourd, of course. My heaven-swallowing gourd is just as good. The entire Medicine King Valley had to work together just to create it. If it sucks someone in, they turn into blood soup within a minute. Li Xiaofan has absolutely no chance of escape. Then some random dude from the crowd dropped to his knees. Congratulations, Master, on finally killing Li Xiaofan. Soon the whole crowd was chanting, Congratulations to the two masters. Master Bai Mi and Master Thu Thui are so powerful. Hanran, meanwhile, was standing off to the side, seething. Damn it, I just got that crazy lady to be my master, and then Li Xiaofan had to go and kill her. Too bad you're dead now, too. Hope it was worth it. And right as she said that, one side of the giant gourd just exploded, ripping a hole open. And who crawls out of that hole and shoots into the sky? Xiaofan. Thu Thui, still holding the giant gourd, was in total, utter disbelief. It's Li Xiaofan. Bai Mi's face went completely pale. How is that even possible? Xiaofan just stared down at them with ice in his eyes. I have become the sword itself. Who could possibly stop me now? Then he roared and powered up, a massive aura of energy exploding around him. Next thing you know, Xiaofan was diving straight down toward that clueless, arrogant crowd. Bai Mi and Thu Thui whipped around, totally shocked. What in the world? He planted his feet, and then two swords literally shot out of his chest, flying at them. They leaped aside as the heaven-swallowing gourd was knocked away. I'm betting it all. That poor gourd was instantly smashed to pieces. As Bai Mi faced Xiaofan, a flash of green light zipped across his neck, and he screamed in agony. Meanwhile, Thu Thui's blood was just trickling down, splattering on the ground. He clutched his chest and collapsed, trembling. But how? Xiaofan, his back turned, just calmly watched the explosions from their little skirmish. Suddenly, a Wuhai token just flew out of nowhere. Xiaofan watched it clatter to the ground and, mostly out of curiosity, used his powers to summon it. The token zipped through the air toward Xiaofan, who then casually plucked it from the air. Xiaofan stared at the token in his hand, thinking, my sword energy didn't even scratch this Tianhai token. The Wuhai token was still glowing. He pushed more power into it, and a circle of words appeared. He smirked. So that's how it is. Guess it's your lucky day. Meanwhile, back in some random cave, a gourd-shaped portal appeared in midair. In the center was a Wu-Hai token, glowing so brightly it was blinding. And who flies out of the token but Thu-Thui? He hit the ground, still clutching his chest wound, and immediately coughed up a mouthful of blood. Thu-Thui's face was dark with hatred. Good thing I perfected that medicinal body technique, or I would have died right there. Li Xiaofan, you killed my student. You destroyed my life's work. This isn't over between us, he vowed, dragging his injured body toward the cave entrance. The plan is to get out of Medicine King Valley before Li Xiaofan finds me, then head to Longdu to find someone to kill him. Back at the arena, Xiaofan was staring straight ahead, dead serious. In front of him was just total silence from the people who'd just watched the beatdown. Suddenly, he raised his hand and pointed right at Shanghai. You, the old bald guy. Yeah, you, get over here. Shanghai looked terrified, but his lackeys started getting rowdy. Master, that punk just called you bald. You have to teach him some respect. Atian chimed in with a snort. Yeah, even if he is powerful, he just took down 3 master assassins. He's got to be totally drained. There's no way he's recovered yet. Master, this is your chance to kill him and secure your reputation. Xiaofan just gave them a dark, unsettling look. You know what? They've got a point. I am pretty spent, which means this is probably the best chance you're ever going to get. If you don't kill me now, I'll kill you the second I recover. Master Sheng's face was ashen, but Ali, Ajin, and Ajong weren't about to miss this golden opportunity for some commentary. Master Lin, kick him while he's down. If you don't make your move now, when will you? This is a rare chance, you can't let it slip. Go on, Master Lin, do it. I'd bet my life that this kid is a spent arrow. He can't even take one hit from you. That was all the encouragement old Shang needed. He clenched his fists and thought, what the hell, let's do this. With that, he charged toward Xiaofan, screaming his head off as the crowd went wild. Go, Master Lin, go! You're the best, Master Lin! Once he takes out Li Xiaofan, Master Lin will be the undisputed #1 master of Nanhai. He ran right up to Xiaofan, saw the kid's completely calm expression, and had a sudden thought. This little punk is way too composed. Could there be a round 2 I don't know about? Oh man, I've been reckless. The second he realized this, he dropped to his knees right in front of Xiaofan and started wailing. Please forgive me, Mr. Li. I was confused for a moment. Everyone there was absolutely stunned by this move. What is the Grandmaster doing? That Li Xiaofan kid is running on fumes. One punch from you would have finished him for good. Yeah, you're a respected senior in the martial arts world. How can you kneel before this nobody? Master Lin, get up and kill him. Old Shang's face darkened as he glared at the loudmouths on the sidelines. With a wave of his hand, he sent them flying and roared, Shut your damn mouths! You're trying to get me killed. Old Shang pointed a trembling finger at Xiaofan, then looked back at the crowd of idiots. Mr. Li's cultivation is god tier. It's not something I can even comprehend. Say one more word and I'll start a massacre. Then, his attitude did a complete 180. He flashed a bootlicking grin at Xiaofan and clasped his hands, looking so pathetic that even Xiaofan was getting secondhand embarrassment. Mr. Li, you have a generous and forgiving heart. Surely you wouldn't bother with a normal guy like me, just treat me like a fart and let me go. Xiaofan looked at the man's groveling display and couldn't bear to watch, bringing a hand to his forehead. You're this afraid of dying? How in the world did you become the leader of a sect? He stood up straight, one hand in his pocket, looking down on Shanghai with contempt. Lin Shanghai, how can you be so completely spineless? Everyone is watching you beg for your life on your knees. If word gets out, how are you ever going to show your face again? Hearing this, the life-loving, death-fearing master slammed his head on the ground. I don't care about some useless reputation. I just want to live right now. Please, Mr. Li, you can't kill me. Suddenly, a voice piped up from the crowd. That's right, we still have Master Chen. If Master Chen makes a move, why would we even need to worry about not taking down Li Xiaofan? The others latched on to this like he was a savior, but they couldn't resist a final dig. Exactly, how could we forget about Master Chen? At least Master Chen has more backbone than Lin Shanghai. Amidst the chatter, Ji Xing sat in his wheelchair, listening with a grim face. He held his phone, deep in thought. He'd already called his master a few times, so he should be arriving any minute now. Just then, a figure in a jade-green outfit approached the crowd. He walked with a thoughtful frown on his face. Situ Kwang said he'd be back before the tea got cold. Well, the tea in this pot is already cold and he's not back. I knew something must have happened. That idiot Situ Kwang was just asking for death, trying to kill Mr. Li. Gushing recognized the newcomer and lit up with joy. Master! He yelled, waving enthusiastically at Si Kong. Master! Master! Over here! Li Xiaofan is a spent arrow. Hurry up and kill him! By now, the rest of the crowd recognized the old man and greeted him with glee. Master Chen! A few of them rushed to surround him, simultaneously tattling and sucking up. Master Chen, you have to stand up for us. Li Xiaofan is an absolute bully. Yeah, Li Xiaofan is way too arrogant. Please, Master Chen, be our champion. There's no way Li Xiaofan is a match for Master Chen. Xikong absolutely exploded with rage. He kicked Giesing square in the face. I don't have time for you idiots, get the hell out of my sight. The kick gave the guy a bloody nose and brought tears to his eyes, but he grabbed Xikong's leg and pleaded, Master, you can't let this chance slip away. It's now or never. Li Xiaofan is a paper tiger right now. You can't miss this opportunity. That was like adding fuel to the fire. The old man got even angrier and slapped Xing, telling him to shut up. Who do you think you are, telling me what to do? You think I need you to teach me? What makes you think you're even worthy of being my disciple? Witnessing this, everyone else could only stare, jaws on the floor. The Jiang Shui family stood in the back, watching Xikong discipline his student. Jiang Shui couldn't help but nudge his daughter. Shinran, are you still in a daze? Don't you want to apologize to Xiaofan? This is your last chance. She bit her lip, furious and unwilling. Li Xiaofan, he killed 3 masters in a row. Even a Superman couldn't handle that. He has to be faking it. Once Master Chen makes his move, he's a dead man for sure. Jiang Shui could only sigh in silence at her words. Over on the side, Jeshing sat in his wheelchair, holding his face and sobbing. Master, I swear on my life, Li Xiaofan is absolutely… Before the guy could even finish his sentence, he caught another slap from his supposed master. Xikong's eyebrows knitted together, his forehead a roadmap of wrinkles. He roared, shut your mouth for me. Just then, a voice popped up behind him. It's all right, Chen Xikong, let him keep talking. Xiaofan slowly strolled over, making Xikong jump out of his skin. He shot Xing a razor-sharp look and asked, this second young master song is your disciple? The old man's face went ghost white, a cocktail of panic and fear that had him breaking out in a cold sweat. Then he dropped to his knees at Xiaofan's feet, his eyes wide and bloodshot, begging for his life. Sir, please forgive me. This little punk has nothing to do with me. He kept up the spineless act, desperate to cut ties with Xing. He just kept kneeling in front of me, wanting me to be his master. I never accepted him. Xikong's body was trembling nonstop, and even Jeshing couldn't believe what he was hearing. I'm just a mere servant under you, sir. If you don't allow me to take disciples, how would I dare? Xiaofan didn't really have a response to this pathetic display. His own face a total blank. Then he faced the crowd and started calling people out. Jiang Shinran, and the rest of you. Xiaofan looked bored, one hand stuffed in his pocket. You said I was a spent arrow, just putting on a show. He stared right at Shinran, then pointed at the kneeling Xikong. Why don't you ask Chen Xikong if that's true? The man lifted his face, immediately switching to bootlicking mode to save his own skin. Sir, your power is something never seen before, from ancient times to now. You're a god among men, and we are just ants. How could we possibly guess your true strength? Shinran was filled with dread, her eyebrows scrunching up as she listened to Xikong. Xiaofan just smirked. You hear that? And those aren't my words. That's the great Master Chen, the untouchable figure you all admire, saying it himself. The people around them looked on, their eyes wide with terror. Then Xiaofan's gaze hardened as he scanned the crowd. Anyone else not convinced? Step forward now. The moment he spoke, a fierce wind whipped up around them all. Xiaofan stood there calmly, his clothes whipping in the gale as it grew into a massive vortex around the arena. The force of it made everyone buckle and cover their heads. In that moment, they finally and a bit too late realized just how terrifyingly strong he was. They begged pathetically, we wouldn't dare, Your Highness. The others followed suit, kneeling and pledging. From now on, the Li family will obey Mr. Li. Everyone was bowing at Xiaofan's feet when Zigui belatedly dropped to the ground, making a vow. From this day on, in Hanzhong, the Song family and I will respect you, sir. Hearing this, Xiaofan's mouth twisted into a sarcastic grin. Song family head, Song Zigui. A dog from the Song family like you isn't even worthy of my attention. Zigui broke into a sweat, his brow furrowed. Xiaofan kept twisting the knife. With trash like the second young master song popping up every few days, do you really think I'm going to let the Song family off the hook? Xing trembled, sweat beading on his pale face. Zigui just gritted his teeth, swallowing his rage. Then he clasped his hands in front of Xiaofan. Mr. Li, please calm your anger. I will give you a satisfactory answer right now. With that, he radiated pure killing intent and marched straight towards Xing. His face was stone cold, chiseled with cruelty. Seeing his father's expression, Jeshing began to shake even more. Father, what are you doing? Xing was met with another hard slap. Zigui clenched his fists, glaring at his son with pure hatred. Shut up. I'm not your father. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a sharp dagger. Then, without a moment's hesitation, he plunged it straight into Geshing's left chest. For the good of the Song family, it's better if you're gone. Geshing's eyes filled with blood vessels. The dagger stuck out of his chest, soaking his shirt in red. It was a truly pathetic sight. He trembled. Father! Then Zigui ripped the dagger out. Geshing collapsed from his wheelchair and died on the ground. Xiaofan glanced at Geshing's body, thinking to himself, is that it? What a boring ending. From a distance, Tianhao watched, a cruel look on his face. Li Xiaofan, you sure know how to play, don't you? I'll just have to find more people to play with you. Xiaofan walked over to Geshing's corpse, frowning. In his past life, this guy and Yang Xiaokun had screwed him over. In this life, dying like this was exactly what he deserved. Suddenly, as if realizing something, his eyes snapped to the side with a sharp look. Xiaofan's gaze locked onto someone hiding behind a pillar high above. The person hiding behind Yang Xiaokun and second young master Song, I'll do the same to you. I won't kill you right away. He continued his cold threat. I will make you feel the fear of death, little by little. I'll make you live the rest of your miserable life in absolute torment. Hiding in the shadows, Tianhao heard these words, pressing his lips together as he glared at Xiaofan. Meanwhile, Zhang Shui was still kneeling on the ground, trembling as he spoke. Xiaofan, I have atoned for my sins. Suddenly, his body was lifted into the air. Xiaofan stood there, one hand held out, using his spiritual energy to make the man stand up. Uncle Jiang, you don't need to do this. I won't do anything to you, and I won't touch the Jiang family. After all, you did save my father's life once. Zhang Shui squeezed his eyes shut, totally overwhelmed with helplessness and shame. I'm sorry, Xiaofan. I failed. I just couldn't discipline Han Ran properly. The coldness in his voice made Han Ran, who was standing right behind him, freeze up and gasp. Oh boy. Zhang Shui glared at her, gritting his teeth, then swung his hand and smacked Han Ran right across the face. You little brat. Because of you, the entire Jiang family was almost wiped out. Han Ran just held her cheek, taking it as he continued to scream. I told you before, don't underestimate Xiaofan, but you just wouldn't listen. You're so short-sighted. Now hurry up and apologize to Xiaofan. But at that moment, Xiaofan was already turning to leave. He called back to the furious father. Uncle Jiang, I'm heading out. No need for an apology. All Zhang Shui could do was sigh as Han Ran stood there, nursing her bruised face. 3 days later, back at the Jiang residence, a defeated Zhang Shui sat slumped in his chair, talking to Han Ran and Yi Nian. Right now, in all of Han Nam, thanks to Xiaofan's support, the Lu family is the big winner, about to become a premier house. He grabbed his head, his brow furrowed with worry. But as for our Jiang family, Xiaofan isn't giving us trouble. But Zhang Shui paused for dramatic effect before continuing. But everyone is so afraid of Xiaofan that they've all cut business ties with us. Realizing how bad things were, Han Ran finally broke down, sobbing and admitting she was wrong. Dad, I really know I was wrong. Every single day is filled with regret and self-blame. If I hadn't been so stubborn, the Jiang family wouldn't be like this, and the Lu family wouldn't be thriving on glory that should have been ours. She collapsed onto the chair, sobbing her heart out. I truly regret it. Zhang Shui could only let out a weary sigh. It was way too late for apologies. The Jiang family's era was over. That's when Yinian finally spoke up. Father, I want to go out into the world and learn some real skills. I want to be like brother Xiaofan, roam the world, dominate everyone, and earn the respect of all. Zhang Shui gave him some gentle encouragement. If you want to go, I won't stop you. Do you have a goal? Yinian answered with fiery resolve. The Azure Dragon Brigade is recruiting. I want to try. Zhang Shui then shared what little he knew about the famous Azure Dragon Brigade. The Azure Dragon Brigade is the most elite special forces team in Hua Nation. Getting in is not going to be easy. But Yinian wasn't discouraged at all, his face burning with passion as he clenched his fist. Father, I will fight to be chosen, and I will return to restore the Jiang family's honor. Meanwhile, on a snow-covered mountain range, a lone figure quietly climbed a set of stairs in a blizzard, their cloak whipping in the wind. A Gu Li walked with light, determined steps toward the heavenly ghost gate. Up ahead in the snow, an old master was waiting for her, and this master was none other than Luo Tian. He handed her a cup of hot tea and asked, Aguli, you've returned from Han Nam? Find anything interesting? She took the tea with one hand and pulled out a piece of paper with the other. Master, I met someone in Han Nam province. The paper showed a picture of a little girl in a red dress. It was Lien Yu in her child form. I fear she's the one the Grandmasters have been looking for. At that very moment, in a cave on that same snowy mountain, Sen Luo sat on a stone chair, looking thoughtfully at his phone as a video played. Recently, the Grandmaster tournament in Han Nam has gained a lot of attention, with a young, powerful expert making a huge splash. On the screen was an image of Lian Yu unleashing a move. He gasped out loud, "It's her!" Sen Luo excitedly reported to Guan Dai, with Ti Yun standing right beside him. "Great, Elder. We've found her." Guan Dai's face was dark, listening with a chilling intensity. He pointed a finger and gave the order, "Take Tian Xing, go down the mountain, find her, and bring back the sacred treasure of our heavenly ghost clan." In another part of the mountain, Tian Xing was completely bound in chains, hands and feet, apparently passed out cold. Her face hung low, the ground beneath her pooled with blood. Suddenly, two figures approached and the door creaked open. Sen Luo and Taifen stood there, arms crossed, staring at Tian Xing's constantly bleeding wrists. Sen Luo said flatly, "We found Lian Yu. You're coming with us." Just then, Tian Xing's head snapped up, a twisted, demonic smile spreading across her face. "Haha," she began to laugh, her shackled body writhing manically. Finally. Finally! Haha. Her eyes flew open, sharp and cold. "I can finally become the heavenly demon." Over at the Heaven Demon Gate, a ghoulie trailed behind Luo Dian, saying, "Master, you're saying this guy is a traitor to our sect and he stole the Grandmaster's ultimate treasure?" Luo Dian turned to look at her. "That's right. So we've got to report this to the Grandmasters and get that treasure back, fast." Suddenly, a blinding purple light erupted in front of them, forcing them to shield their eyes. After it faded, three figures stood there. Taiyun and Sen Luo, carrying a huge wooden crate, appeared, looking down their noses at La Dian and a ghoulie. The two students quickly bowed in respect to their masters. A ghoulie held up a photo to report, "Grandmasters, I've got news on that person you wanted us to track down." But she couldn't help thinking, is this what the Grandmasters really look like? Guandai just glared, his face a mask of pure fury. He snatched the picture and stared at it, demanding, "A ghoulie, where is this person?" She clasped her hands and replied, "My intel suggests they're headed for Chuzhou." With that answer, the manager just spun on his heel, not forgetting to point at a ghoulie. "Hey, you're with us now." His eyes narrowed into evil little slits. Oh yeah, this time Lian Yu was going to be turned into paste, and he was getting his treasure back. And humanity was long overdue for another baptism by his heavenly ghost clan. Just then, a taxi pulled up to a giant gate. Lian, you hopped out of the cab and immediately let out a massive sneeze. She trailed after Xiaofan, rubbing her nose cheerfully. "Master, I guess we're finally home." Xiaofan gave her a sympathetic look. Yeah, he thought to himself. It's almost time. The dragon subduing wood and the spirit gathering array were about to level up. Right on cue, Shui Lian and Li Qian appeared at the gate to welcome them. "Master, Xiaofan, you're back?" Then Li Qian held up her hand, where a spirit crystal was just, casually floating. "Xiaofan, I kept this spirit crystal with me the whole time." "So, mission accomplished, I guess." Xiaofan reached out and took the crystal, saying softly, "Class president, you've been through a lot." Hearing that, Li Qian couldn't hide her smile. "Oh, it was just a small thing, really." Shui Lian, standing nearby, clasped her hands together. "Master, I did as you asked. All the ingredients you needed are set up in the spirit gathering array." Xiaofan gave her a nod of approval. "Good." Then he looked at the crystal in his hand and turned to Li Qian, class president. "The spirit gathering array needs an upgrade to the crouching dragon array. Since you're a nine-yang mystic body, I'm gonna need your help." Without even a second of hesitation, Li Qian agreed instantly. No problem at all. So the whole crew gathered in the yard, channeling energy into the tree. Xiaofan pumped power into the dragon-subduing wood, his brow furrowed in concentration. This time, he thought, the array upgrade has a pure spirit crystal, plus a boost from a nine-yang mystic body, and I'm moving the array's core into the wood. This thing is definitely turning into a real dragon. While everyone else was just blasting away with power, he was running all the calculations, just like old times. Once the dragon-subduing wood fully merges with the array, the whole crouching dragon array becomes mobile, following the tree anywhere. He was already picturing his return to the immortal realm. Not only would he have a real dragon for backup, he could pop open this array whenever he wanted. Weirdly, the array itself wouldn't level up as the wood got stronger. Anyway, day turned to night, and 3 days later the weather was beautiful. Xiaofan was still frozen in the same pose, eyes squeezed shut, totally focused on channeling his power. He and Li Qian were floating mid-air, just pouring energy into the dragon-subduing wood. And then, the tree started shooting out blinding flashes of light. Xiaofan sensed the change, his eyes snapping open. He yelled out some epic chant, "Myriad phenomena unite, heaven and earth form the crouching dragon." And just like that, a massive dragon erupted from the array. It coiled around a giant green pillar of light, soared into the sky, and let out a bone-rattling roar. Meanwhile, the folks down in the city saw the light show and started freaking out. What in the world is that giant beam of light? It's so bright. Someone must be testing a nuke over in Suzhou. Did anyone else just hear a dragon roar? Nah, couldn't be. It's obviously God's descending, you idiots. No way. It's clearly a test for one of those newfangled artificial suns. And mingling with the clueless crowd was a Gu Li and the Heavenly Ghost Clan, standing around in very obvious black cloaks. Even a Gu Li was stunned, pointing at the sky. Ancestor, that pillar of light, it feels like it has limitless power. Does Suzhou always have weird stuff like this going on? Senluo shot a worried look at the manager. Great Elder, he said. Ever since we set foot in Suzhou, I've felt something off. It's like all the spiritual energy in the entire region is being sucked into one spot, and that beam of light shooting into the sky pretty much confirms it. I'm afraid some powerful master set up a gathering array here, and that spot is probably the epicenter. The manager finally spoke, his voice low. All right, change of plans. We check out that array first. The hunt for Lian, you can wait. Back in the golden light, a spray of blood shot out. Turns out, Xiaofan had just sliced his own palm open, splattering blood everywhere. The city folk looked up as the sky began to turn pitch black, totally panicked. Why did the sky just go dark? I can't see a thing. Is this an eclipse? What is going on? Up above, Xiaofan could feel his power draining fast. Sweat beaded on his temples, and he grit his teeth. Okay, manifesting a real dragon was way more tiring than he'd expected, but he strained and yelled, "Form!" A colossal wave of power wrapped around the dragon-subduing wood, which erupted in a blinding electric light. The black clouds started to break apart, revealing the blazing sun again. Down below, everyone just stared at the rapidly changing sky, completely bewildered. Is this just some crazy weather? I think our city is haunted by something unclean. Are actual immortals descending, like in the stories? At that moment, Lian Yu and Li Qian finally touched back down on solid ground. The intense light from the dragon-subduing wood made Lian Yu shield her eyes. Damn, that scared the hell out of me. But I've never seen an aura this powerful before. Xue Lian was in a similar state of shock, asking Xiaofan frantically, "Master, what's happening to the dragon-subduing wood?" Xiaofan floated down, calmly reassuring everyone like it was no big deal. Everybody chill. The crouching dragon array is complete. The wood dragon has now been reborn as a true dragon. All three of them gasped. A true dragon! Then, from a pillar of golden light, a tiny hand reached out. The three girls immediately took a defensive stance, eyes fixed on the figure slowly materializing. Tuyet Lian and Liquian were totally confused, while Lian Yu just gritted her teeth and kept on talking. Then bam, this cute little kid named Chan Long pops up, rocking a tiny sprout on his head and a look of pure innocence. Lian Yu's jaw hit the floor. All that epic power she'd been channeling all day produced a single bean sprout. The little sprout head was rubbing his dome, then slowly toddled towards the group as Liquian watched, her eyes wide. This was a dragonwood form. He suddenly latches onto Liquian's leg, then tilts his adorable little face up to call for her. Mama Lian Yu. Tuyet Lian and Phoenix, standing right there, just about had a heart attack. Mama? Liquian was just as freaked out, her face turning bright red. Hey now, this isn't. She waved her hands, staring at the kid clamped to her leg. Hey little buddy, you sure you got the right person? 'Cause I am definitely not your mom. Tufam finally steps in to play commentator. The dragonwood form just took shape, and the class monitor was its keeper, always feeding it that 9-yin nether chi. So over time, the kid's divine soul kinda bonded with her. It's totally normal for him to see her as his closest person. The dragonwood hugging her leg turned and called out to Tufam. And boom, another plot twist for everyone present. Lian Yu literally jumped up and bopped the kid on the head, yelling at him to stop adopting random people. The little guy rubbed his head, just staring at Lian Yu completely baffled. Tufam put a hand to his forehead. He let out a long, tired sigh. Yeah, judging by this, it was going to take a long time for this dragonwood to grow up. He cleared his throat and turned to Liqian. Ahem. Class monitor, since the dragonwood form is already attached to you, why not train with him? That way, you could also cultivate the 9-yang divine body through him. Plus, his new consciousness is going to need a guide. Liquian nodded, her eyes a mix of determination and pure awkwardness. Okay, Tufam, you can count on me. Then, out of nowhere, the phone in Tufam's pocket started ringing. He pulled it out to check the caller. Elsewhere, Boy Ni was in a car. On the phone, Tufam, about that favor. I heard you got a raw deal from the Jiang family. I have a great uncle who's the president of the Education Association, and he's about to retire. You're a school principal, so you're already in the education system. I already talked to him, and he's going to recommend you for the president's spot. I'm bringing the invitation letter to you myself. Tufam didn't even hesitate. Okay. But just then another call came through for him. He answered it. Kyofi, what's up? On the other end, Kyofi sounded frantic, his face a mess of panic. Tuafam, where are you? Get here right now. Before he could finish, a foot slammed right into his chest. The kick sent him flying. He hit the ground with a groan, his phone skittering across the floor and landing at some stranger's feet. Kyofi clutched his chest, glaring at the guy in front of him. What do you want? Tukon stood there with his arms crossed, smirking. Next to him, his goon Kim Kwang flashed a nasty grin. Tu Pham heard the commotion, asking, Kyofi, what happened? A foot came down and just crushed Kyofi's phone into pieces. Tu Pham heard the line go dead. He lowered his phone, his expression slowly hardening into something serious. Tu Yet Lien saw his face and asked nervously, Teacher, is something wrong? He ignored her, just giving orders to Le Kien and Tu Yet Lien. The crouching dragon formation is done but needs reinforcing, so you two stay here. I've got to go out. All while Lien Yu was busy pinching the Sprout Kid's cheeks. The other two immediately agreed. Yes, sir. Back at the academy, Thieu Kon was lounging in a chair, leg crossed, threatening Q Phi. Vice Principal Q, starting today, you're demoted to a regular intern. Got it? Q Phi was furious. On what grounds? What right do you have to do that? Tu Pham is the principal of this school. Tu Kon just scoffed with the most punchable look on his face. Li Tu Pham? He's a nobody now. I'm the principal of this school, and what I say goes. Kyo Phi stared daggers at him. You're a bully! A guy like you as principal is a tragedy for the teachers, the students, and the entire education system. Hearing that, Thieu Kon let out a cruel half-smile, his face twisting with malice. A tragedy? He pointed over at his muscle-bound friend. I'll show you what a real tragedy is. Kim Kwang, beat him for me. Kim Kwang cracked his knuckles with a wicked grin. Yes, sir. He then swung a massive fist right at Kyo Phi, who just threw his arms up to defend himself. Hey, don't mess around. A huge punch landed on Kyo Phi's chest, making him spit up a mouthful of blood as his face contorted in pain. Kim Kwang wasn't done. He stomped down hard on Kyo Phi's left thigh, making him scream. Tu Kon just watched from the side with a little smirk. Outside in the schoolyard, a crowd of students was chanting, Down with Duong Tu Kon, you jerk. Tumac stood on a platform, his fists clenched, yelling to his classmates, Fellow students, what right does that scumbag young Shao Kun have? He's a total piece of trash. What gives him the right to be our headmaster? He continued. And what's worse, he stole the vice principal position from the kind and friendly Mr. Chow. Do you all agree with this? The students below were united. No way, no way, no way. From the office, Jin Gang emerged, dragging Chow Fei with one hand as Shao Kun strutted ahead of them, right into a storm of curses and anxious shouts. Get lost, young Shao Kun. We only accept Headmaster Li Xiaofan. Hey, where did Mr. Li go? If he were here, this would never be happening. As Chow Fei was dragged along, his face covered in bruises, he showed no fear, only mockery. Young Shao Kun, you hear that? Who's going to respect you as headmaster? Outside, the angry students just kept chanting. We're done with this. If the school doesn't give us a reasonable answer today, we are not going back to class. That's right. We stand with Headmaster Li and Vice Principal Chow. Yang Shao Kun, get the hell out of here, now. Hearing these words, Shao Kun's face grew dark and cold. He gritted his teeth as he and Jin Gang walked up the steps. Shao Kun stood on the stage with his hands on his hips, fuming. What do you think you're doing? Staging a rebellion? Do you even look like students anymore? Do you know this is a school? This isn't a place for your tantrums. Get back to class now, or you think I won't expel every last one of you? Then, a banana peel flew out of nowhere and smacked him in the face. Shao Kun quickly ripped the peel from his face and slammed it onto the ground. He was seeing red, about to explode. Son of a, the students weren't scared at all. Ha ha, get off the stage. Go on, try and expel us. Yeah, whatever, we've had enough of school anyway. Expel us, and we can finally just go play games at the internet cafe. Shao Kun turned and pointed at Zemo, who was just watching with his arms crossed. Yang Zemo, you're the ringleader here. I order you, get these students back to class right now, or I won't go easy on you. Zemo just turned his head, looking down on him arrogantly. Yang Shao Kun, you think you can control me? At this school, I, Yang Zemo, only listen to Li Xiaofan. Who the hell are you? With that, he raised his hands high and yelled, Brothers, let's go! The students below went absolutely wild, roaring their approval. In one classroom, students started a bonfire with their books, chanting, Free Vice Principal Chow Fei. Others smashed windows with desks, shouting, Reinstate Chow, or we'll wreck this school. Down in the courtyard, the fearless students yelled up at Shao Kun. Yang Shao Kun, step down, bring back Headmaster Li, or we don't care about school anymore. He was absolutely furious. I'm telling you all, Even if you manage to punch a hole in the sky, I will never reinstate Xiao Fei. Then he crossed his arms and told the rioting students, "Go ahead, do whatever you want. You might as well just tear down the whole prestigious Eastern Star Academy while you're at it." Standing nearby, Zemo rolled his wrists and smiled. "Yang Xiaokun, you said it, not me. I'm going to smash this place now. And hey, whatever happens is on you." Xiaokun's face darkened. "Enough with the empty threats. If you've got the guts, then go ahead and smash it. I dare you." Without missing a beat, Zemo pointed a thumb at himself. "All right, then today I'm going to open your eyes." Xiaokun couldn't take it anymore, rolling up his sleeves in a rage. "I seriously can't believe this. I'm the headmaster, and I can't handle a bunch of students? You arrogant brat who wants to tear down the school, you just try it, I'll really." Before he could finish his sentence, he saw 3 bulldozers in the stadium that hadn't been there a moment ago. His face went white. "Crap," he cursed. "These little monsters are actually serious." Then Zemo stood up and started giving orders. "Demolish Yang Xiaokun's office first for me." He leaned over, casually waving a hand to direct the bulldozers forward. One bulldozer smashed straight through a wall, leaving a massive hole. The 3 machines took turns, reducing Xiaokun's office to a pile of rubble. The students cheered. "Long live!" Xiaokun's eyes burned with murderous intent as he ground his teeth. "You all!" Then he gives a little hand wave to the goon behind him. "Diamond, take care of these pathetic losers for me." The guy's face lights up with interest, and he immediately replies, "As you command." Then, he just leaps off the high platform. His giant body seems to fall in slow motion, making all the students around him stare in terror. Oh, the humanity. Diamond lands on a bulldozer with a crash, laughing like a complete psycho. Ha ha ha. The students, realizing this is not a drill, start screaming and scattering. Witnessing this beautiful chaos, the guy just smirks dangerously, then takes a running start, aiming his massive body at the nearby bulldozer. Next, Diamond punches the bulldozer's wheel so hard it flies off toward the crowd, who are all scrambling to get out of the way. All the students could do was stare jaws on the floor at the guy's insane power. Holy crap, what kind of monster was this? Absolutely brutal. Was this dude a machine? Up above, Shao Kun wore a smug, dark, and utterly punchable grin. "Are you little punks out of your minds?" he kept on taunting. "Go on, show me how crazy you are. I'll deal with every single one of you." Down below, Diamond spun around, flashing a grin that was somehow even more vicious. He suddenly grabbed a student, who understandably freaked out. "What are you doing?" The guy's armor-plated arm chucked the kid to the ground, who screamed in pain, before he moved on to the other children. A golden light began to glow from his arm, spinning wildly and sending students flying, while the smart ones scrambled for their lives. Shao Kun stood before Zemo, crossing his arms with a smirk. "Young Zemo, have you submitted yet?" he asked, dripping with arrogance and threats. "If you haven't, don't even think about walking out of this school today." Totally unfazed, Zemo glared right back. "You can't scare me. Go ahead, try and touch me." Shao Kun couldn't have cared less, just casually giving Diamond a little nod. Getting his orders, the big guy leaped high into the air, landing in a flash right in front of Zemo with a sleazy grin. Zhao Fei had seen the whole thing, his face filled with worry. There was no way young Zemo could win, but covered in wounds, he still bravely rushed in to protect him. "That's enough, young Shao Kun. Stop it right now. You can't hurt any more students." Zemo knew what bad shape the teacher was in, so he couldn't just ignore it. "Teacher Zhao Fei, you're badly hurt. Don't worry about me. Just get out of the way." He turned his head to gently reassure him. "It's okay. I already called Xiao Fan. He'll be here soon." Hearing this, Shao Kun viciously kicked Zhao Fei, sending him tumbling to the ground. "You son of a..." His face got even darker. He raised his foot. "So what if I'm beating up Li Xiaofan? What's he gonna do when he gets here? I'll deal with him the same way." Hearing his master insulted, Zemo's anger boiled over and he threw a punch. "You dare insult my master again?" His fist was easily caught by Diamond, and their collision created a blinding flash of yellow light. The big guy then quickly yanked his hand back, sneering as Zemo was sent flying. "A weak little chicken dares to fight me?" The attack made Zemo spit out a mouthful of blood. Shao Kun gave the punk a devious look. "Do you submit?" He wiped the blood from his mouth, his gaze sharp and unwavering as he answered. "Never." Shao Kun's lips curled. He ordered his henchmen to continue the attack. Diamond's arm shot up, then slammed down hard into Zemo's stomach. That one blow brought him to his knees, spitting blood onto the ground. He grimaced in pain, but that didn't stop him from cursing them out. "Young Shao Kun, you old geezer, if you've got the guts, then just go ahead and kill me." This ridiculous attitude made him grit his teeth. "Looks like you won't cry until you see your own coffin." He leaned over the high platform, threatening the students below. "All of you, watch closely. I'm about to break both of Yang Zemo's legs. Anyone who dares defy me will end up just like him." The words were a death sentence, and Diamond immediately raised his fist to carry it out. Ha ha ha. Suddenly, a flash of blue light appeared, shooting into the descending fist and surprising Diamond. Huh? The blue energy blast forced him backwards as he wondered in shock. It can actually block one of my moves? Xiaofan calmly stepped out from the crowd of students. Everyone cheered with relief. It's Principal Li! Principal Li is here! The kids were celebrating as if they'd been rescued. This is great. Principal Li is here. Let's see how arrogant Yang Xiaokun can be now. Principal Li, give us justice and take down Yang Xiaokun. Seeing his opponent had finally arrived, he adjusted his tie and declared, Li Xiaofan, so what if you're here? I'm the new principal, appointed by the Education Association. He then pointed at Xiaofan with a sneer. And I'm here to inform you that you have been expelled. The guy calmly raised a hand to his chest and made a gentle introduction. Is that so? Well, in my capacity as president of the Education Association, I'm officially informing you that you're fired from this school. Now get lost. And also, you're going to pay for all the damages here today. Xiao Kun didn't believe it and yelled in rage. Nonsense, his eyes burned as he screamed at him. Li Xiaofan, the president of the Education Association, was handpicked by my father. If you're going to bluff, at least make it a believable one. He then pulled out his phone as if to call someone, overflowing with confidence. Li Xiaofan, you want to revoke my position as principal? You say this comes from the association's president? Fine, I'll call the president right now and we'll see what he says. He stepped forward. Li Xiaofan, President Wu Yang will be here in a minute. You really like acting cool, don't you? Xiao Kun leaned forward with a malicious smile. Today, I'm going to make you look like a complete fool. Xiao Fan raised his hand and coldly slapped him hard across the face. Stunned, he clutched his bruised cheek, pointing angrily. Damn it, you dare hit me? Right after he said that, Xiao Kun got another slap on his other cheek. Xiao Fan sneered. You knew I'd dare to hit you, yet you still leaned in. Are you an idiot? Just then, Xiao Kun's phone rang. Beep, beep, beep. With both cheeks bruised, he managed a smug smile as he answered the person on the other end. Yo, Chairman Wu Yang, you there yet? Whatever the guy on the phone said must have been a doozy, because his face instantly went a lovely shade of gray. What? Chairman Wu Yang, retired, and the new boss is some Chairman Li? This little newsflash made him slam the phone down in a funk. Xiao Kun, not taking it well, got right in Xiao Fan's face. Fine, Li Xiao Fan, so Wu Yang retired. I'll let you have your little victory lap. Just wait till I get a hold of the new Chairman Li. Then we'll settle this. Xiao Fan just smirked and held up a hand. No need to call. I'm the Chairman Li you're looking for. Xiao Kun, deep in denial, just pointed vaguely behind him. Li Xiaofan, are you even serious right now?